Ding! Ding! As expected, the system beep arrived, and Long Fei's eyes were filled with faint anticipation. This was the first boss of a place where all worlds intersected. Moreover, if it wasn't for him killing the 10,000 Beast World's young master and activating the second stage of the God of Boundary Blade's power, Long Fei didn't dare say that he would have been able to kill the boss. He even ignored the boss stats and directly attacked it. This kind of berserk method could be said to be the reason why Long Fei established himself at the place where 10,000 worlds intersected. Of course, he had to be incomparably excited. It exploded. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for slaying boss's 10,000 Beast God of Boundary. You have received 1,500 million experience, 1,500 million holy source points, and 1 striking value. Ding! Congratulations to player on leveling up. Current level, Super Perfection level, 5. Level, 1, 100 000 slash 500 000 experience points. Boom! The system's voice paused. Long Fei only felt a kind of power instantly floating away from his body. Instant breakthrough. With the breakthrough, all his energy was replenished in an instant. On the system interface, other than the second blade of the God of Boundary, everything else was refreshed. Long Fei's heart was set, and he suppressed the excitement in his heart. Upgrade was inevitable. It was only a matter of time. However, the experience that the 10,000 Beast God of Boundary had brought him still made him feel a sense of fanaticism. Too empowering. A single boss cost 15 billion. In the past, he wouldn't even dare to think about such an experience. The hell, if it was an ancient world, then this experience would be enough to surge from nothing to an ancient power. Long Fei sighed in his heart. The system was still very satisfied with his generosity this time around. In a moment, Long Fei was filled with even more expectations for this berserk event. It was also at this time. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the 10,000 Beast God of Boundary. The reward is 10,000 rules. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the 10,000 Beast God of Boundary and obtaining the 10,000 World Command. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for defeating the 10,000 Beast God of Boundary and obtaining World Fortune. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the 10,000 Beast World's World Suppression Heavenly Beast Soul. For consecutive sounds resounded in Long Fei's ears. Long Fei instantly became excited. Every time he spoke, even before he looked at the attributes, he was already excited. 10,000 rules? This kind of power was something that even the Raging Dragon's Town could resist. Wasn't this strength powerful? Who dares to say they aren't strong? And then there was the karmic luck of the myriad realms. It was the karmic luck of being able to instantly match up to the life and death of the myriad realms. It was truly amazing. Long Fei could not wait and immediately opened the system interface. But unfortunately, he simply did not have enough striking value yet. Striking value had just caused the young master of the 10,000 Beast World to explode, so right now, he could only let it go like this. Of course, it wasn't as though there was no one left to kill. But now, the things dropped by the system had already satisfied Long Fei. There was nothing to be unsatisfied about. Furthermore, the 10,000 Beast God of Boundary was directly destroyed. Without any armor, even if it went berserk, wouldn't necessarily produce anything good. Long Fei's mind stirred as he looked at the system interface. 10,000 rules. The will of the 10,000 worlds God of Boundary. Fusion into a sword of laws. 10,000 worlds command. 10,000 worlds crossing with 10,000 worlds. Order 10,000 worlds. Infinite fate. Merges within the infinite order, relates to the infinite world. If destiny collapses, the realm will be destroyed. World suppression heavenly beast soul. The world suppression beast of the 10,000 beast world is incomparably terrifying. After fusing, it can transform into a wild beast. Long Fei swept his gaze across them one by one. Awesome, we really struck it rich this time. Long Fei was instantly overjoyed. All of these powers were what he needed right now. He could control 10,000 worlds at once. In other words, in this place where 10,000 realms intersect, Long Fei would directly become the overlord. Suddenly, at this moment, another prompt appeared on the system. Ding! Congratulations, player. The system has detected the ability to devour. After the mortal life, Great Palm absorbs the myriad of Tao rules. It can be upgraded. May I ask if you want to devour it? The system asked. Long Fei muttered to himself. He was slightly reluctant. After all, the 10,000 natural laws could be fused into a sword of laws. The sword of laws was also ferocious to a complete mess. If it was swallowed like that, Long Fei would definitely be a little hesitant. But soon after, Long Fei's eyes fixed. Devour, Long Fei said. This was the trust of the system. The system was the way to go. From a beginning till the end, the system's power had never failed Long Fei. Just this time, Long Fei believed that there wouldn't be any difference. Ding! 10,000 Tao principles have been swallowed. Ding! The mortal life Great Palm is fusing. Ding! The mortal life Great Palm has begun leveling up. Leveling up requires 15 minutes. The system's voice constantly rang out. Long Fei's heart also gradually sank into waiting. At this time, Jiang Chuanxiu's figure slowly walked into Long Fei's line of sight. He was completely stupefied. Looking at the only figure left in the sky, Long Fei was completely at a loss. My lord, this? Jiang Chuanxiu asked tentatively. Previously, Long Fei had thrown him out of the battle circle, so he couldn't see everything that happened here. Jiang Chuanxiu had also been exceedingly mature that year, and a guess had formed in his mind with just a thought. However, this guess was truly frightening. He didn't dare believe it either. Yes, just like you think, Long Fei said. There was no further explanation. Hiss! Jiang Chuanxiu sucked in a breath of cold air, his figure almost unable to stand still. Looking at Long Fei in front of him, an expression of incomparable reverence was born in his eyes. Right, incomparable respect. Previously, the reason why he relied on Long Fei was because Long Fei was very strong. Then right now, Long Fei's might had already exceeded the limits of his mental fortitude. Formidable. Lord, he is indeed invincible. This old man, no, this old servant is truly fortunate to be able to follow the Lord. Yes, it is like this. From today onwards, I will be a lackey under the tutelage of the Lord. The Lord has asked me to call him, so I will not shut my mouth. If the Lord tells me to bite, I won't roar. Jiang Chuanxiu said with a courteous expression. However, Long Fei completely ignored him and interrupted him with a wave of his hand. Don't bother with superfluous words. Right now, this entire world is already under my control. Go and bring the person from the void here. There are some things that I want to understand. Long Fei said. He was waiting for the skills to update. He didn't want to pay attention to more, but in his heart, it was impossible for him to let go of the situation in the sun god world. Immediately, Jiang Chuanxiu's face was filled with splendor, as if saying that he was ordered by Long Fei was a type of honor. Don't worry, my lord. They are all from the 10,000 beast world. Right now, the Lord controls this side of the world. Absolutely no one dares to disobey. Jiang Chuanxiu had a proud expression on his face as he leapt into the air in an instant. Long Fei ignored him and started inspecting himself. Right now, he had leveled up. The power of super perfection level 5 made Long Fei feel like he was about to explode. For example, if he resisted the so-called 10,000 rules now, there was no need to go through so much trouble. One punch was enough to destroy it. Even the 10,000 beast god of boundary did not need to rely on the power of the god of boundary's blade to slash through. Honorable realm, right? I'll see just how amazing you are this time around. Long Fei's heart was moved. When he thought of the ancient world, that figure's fighting spirit increased. At this moment, the system chimed. Ding! Congratulations, player. The great hand seal of the mortal life leveling up has been completed. The system made a sound, and Long Fei's mind followed it. The system made a sound, and Long Fei's mind followed it. Unable to wait any longer, he immediately looked over. Ding! Congratulations, player. Advanced mortal life palm leveled up. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining skill Hand of the Great Way. Hand of the Great Way. Beginner of the Tao. Description: devour the laws of 10,000 worlds. Condense the power of one law. Attribute: suppression, annihilation. Special hint: this skill is very powerful and can destroy a world. It can only be used once in the player's level 1 range. As players level up, the skill's power increases. When Long Fei heard the system prompt, his eyes shone brightly. Ultimate skill. He had finally used his ultimate skill. As he entered space, it became increasingly difficult to activate the killing attribute of the 5 elements heaven shrouding palm. Moreover, a death sentence of that degree might not even be enough to kill all these space powerhouse. After all, what they were facing now was not just a normal level of strength. It was the power of laws. The will of the powerhouse was the rule. Unless he had the power to back him up, he would not be a match for him. But now, the hand of the great Tao had appeared. Just to make up for this, what was even more terrifying was the system's special prompt, which made Long Fei's heart itch even more unbearably. He couldn't wait to find the leader of the noble world and give him a slap on the face. TSK. The power of the system's prompt is great. That's a little impressive. Long Fei thought as his gaze slowly turned. He began to study other things. The karmic luck of 10,000 worlds. This kind of thing called luck and gas was illusory, but Long Fei had come into contact with it before. This was the case in the Yang God world. If it weren't for the mission's clone having absorbed more than half of the Yang God realm's destiny and becoming the child of destiny, he wouldn't have had anything to do with Hong Xiuye. Moreover, even Meng Xinji had been killed because of the power of karmic luck. From this, it could be seen how terrifying the power of karmic luck was. In other words, that was merely the destiny of a world. But now, it was the karmic luck of 10,000 worlds. With a single thought, he could control the life and death of all the realms. However, the myriad world fate was already won with the myriad world token. After the system exploded out, it directly fused into the order of myriad worlds. As for the 10,000 beast world's guardian beast soul, Long Fei did not pay much attention to it. With his current abilities, there was no need for him to transform into a beast. There was no need for him to transform into a wild beast to fight. In the next moment, Long Fei held the 10,000 worlds token in his hand. In an instant, his soul fused with it. So. The power of karmic luck for all the realms was reflected in Long Fei's eyes. Streams of karmic luck were surging and surging, as though they were within reach of his hands. Long Fei casually moved, and a strand of destiny directly entered his hand. He could vaguely sense the environment and general strength of that realm. In fact, Long Fei had a hunch that he just needed a little more strength. The destiny of this world would be crushed. The world would instantly fall into depravity. Without karmic luck, it was the same as being removed from the universe. Without the power of the stars, it was only a matter of time before it was annihilated into the universe. With that thought, Long Fei sighed in his heart. Fortunately, he was strong enough. Otherwise, if the ancient world was controlled by someone, the consequences would be obvious. Suddenly, Long Fei's heart moved. A bad premonition immediately emerged. That was the world of the sun god. The universe was simply too strong. Moreover, in the entire universe, in the powerhouse world, there was no mercy at all for the weak and small worlds. And to enslave someone, one had to deprive them of their world fortune. Not good. If that's the case, then the sun god world is going to be very dangerous. In a moment of thought, the excitement in Long Fei's heart disappeared. The worry from before surfaced in his mind once more. It was also at this time that Jiang Chuanqiu's voice suddenly rang out. Behind him, tens of thousands of people followed. Moreover, their auras were all different. "Sir, this old servant has brought everyone back. These people are all from a myriad beast world. I have only brought a few representatives with me. Their people have also been bound within the void." Jiang Chuanqiu said. Of course, the reason he could do this was definitely because of Long Fei. "Master, please spare our lives. We were also forced to do so by the 10,000 beast god of boundary." That's right, Master. The 10,000 Beast God of Boundary controls our luck. We have no choice but to come. But my lord, we definitely do not have any thoughts of making you our enemy. We definitely do not dare. The moment they saw Long Fei, all of their minds crumbled. To them, even if he died, they would never forget the battle just now. He was in a frenzy. The tens of thousands of rules instantly collapsed. A super powerhouse of the first generation was killed in a single move. This level of combat power caused their minds to tremble. As long as Long Fei was willing, he could kill them easily. He could even cripple them with a single glance. He couldn't hold on at all. In fact, when Jiang Chunxiu appeared before them, they didn't even dare to flee and directly followed Jiang Chunxiu. Now, upon seeing Long Fei, both of his legs were trembling. Tell me, in this place where 10,000 worlds intersect, has something major happened? Long Fei asked. These people were already scared out of their wits. As for what kind of thoughts they had, Long Fei didn't care in the slightest. In any case, the karmic luck of the 10,000 worlds was now in his hands. Anyone who dared to refuse to accept this would immediately explode with karmic luck. When that happened, the entire world would collapse. No one dared to take such a risk. All he wanted to know was some information. But when Long Fei opened his mouth, these people looked at each other. My lord, the biggest thing in this myriad worlds is you, right? Right. It's our lord. He came out of nowhere looking down on us and swept through the entire world. This battle record is just right here. Everything in this world is useless in front of our lord. Lord, if you dare to say such trivial things, then there won't be any more major matters. Countless people spoke out. However, it was just a compliment, and there was nothing special about it all. Long Fei secretly frowned. Although the words sounded extremely comfortable, the matter regarding the Yang God world was the most pressing. Let me ask you, have you never heard of anything related to the Sun God world? Long Fei went straight to the point. In any case, in this boundless universe, many people thought that they were the people who walked out of the Sun God realm. There were only a few people who knew that they were ancient world. Moreover, the main players had all been killed by him, so the remaining people would not reveal anything. The Sun God world, is this the world where the adults live? No, Master is from the ancient world. Among all the heavens, there is nothing else apart from the world of the Sun God that the great man spoke of. Everyone recalled, and said those words carefully, afraid that their answer would displease Long Fei. But right at this moment, a light suddenly flashed within the myriad realms token in Long Fei's hand. Long Fei stared blankly, not knowing what was going on. This was because the myriad world token was dropped by the system. Without his active control, how could there be a mutation? Just as Long Fei was feeling suspicious, a voice suddenly sounded from the 10,000 Worlds Order. Star Demon Realm has issued the 10,000 Worlds Hunting Order. The 10,000 Worlds Chasing Order. The 10,000 Worlds Chasing Order. Long Fei never thought that it would be the first time he heard news about the Yang God realm. The 10,000 World Chasing Order. Long Fei repeated himself. His tone was bone-chilling cold, and boundless killing intent burst forth from it. Rumble. With a single thought, the air in front of him seemed to be frozen by this killing intent. It was incomparably cold. The people in the 10,000 worlds all continuously circulated their spiritual energy to defend themselves. Needless to say, they also knew the reason behind Long Fei's anger. A moment ago, Long Fei was still trying to find out more about the Yang God world, but he never would have thought that he would make such a huge turnaround in the blink of an eye. Chased down? A person that was being chased by a super powerhouse? This was simply defying the heavens, drawing talismans in front of Yama Minamiya, seeking his own death. Such a fierce person couldn't even dodge in time. Who would still dare to chase after someone he cared about? And at this moment, Long Fei's eyes were ice-cold to the extreme. His eyes were like ice, cold beyond compare. Star Demon Realm. What a great Star Demon Realm. A deep sound. His eyes revealed an endless killing intent. Immediately after, Long Fei turned around and looked at Jiang Chunxiu and the others. What rank is this Star Demon Realm? Long Fei asked. This 10,000 Worlds token was obtained from the 10,000 Beast God of Boundary, and since the Star Demon Realm could use the 10,000 Worlds token to announce this information, it could be seen that the level of the Star Demon Realm was definitely not low. And the higher the level of the Star Demon Realm, the more dangerous the people of the Sun God Realm were. My lord, the Star Demon Realm is the same as the 10,000 Beast World. It's one of the worlds that are super strong in the 10,000 Worlds. In fact, their combined strength is even greater than that of the 10,000 Beast World. They are incomparably terrifying. Legend has it that with a casual move, they were able to destroy a star and use the power of the entire star to transform into a demon with unparalleled combat prowess. Moreover, it's said that the Star Demon Realm is related to a noble realm through marriage, which is why they became the top 10 among the top 10 strongest realms. The people from the 10,000 Worlds said. The narration was full of astonishment. Long Fei was strong. However, the Star Demon Realm is not weak either. Previously, it was only because of Long Fei's remaining might that made them feel that the Star Demon World was courting death. However, now that they had unearthed the power of the Star Demon Realm, they felt that Long Fei didn't seem to be too good either. At this time, Jiang Chunxiu stepped forward. My lord, actually, my great Yang world is a world under the control of the Star Demon World. Jiang Chunxiu said. He wanted to say something, but hesitated. It was as though he had an instinctive fear of the Star Demon World. If that's the case, we'll head straight for the Star Demon World. I want to see just how powerful the Star Demon World is. Long Fei said, clean, without the slightest hesitation. His family, his women, son, and brothers were all still within the Yang God world. And according to the original agreement, they would definitely come to this place where the 10,000 worlds intersected. Therefore, other than them, there was no one else that the Star Demon Realm was pursuing. Under these circumstances, could Long Fei endure it? Impossible. My lord, I think we should consider this matter carefully. Also, the war for the God of Boundary is about to begin. Now that you have destroyed the 10,000 Beast world, you are the ruler of this world. The competition for God of Boundary in this world is under your control. You will be able to choose the strongest 1,000 God of Boundary and participate in the battle to decide the ranking of the world. Someone said, although they did not know that Long Fei had already grasped the fate of this world. Given his absolute strength, they did not dare to resist. He had even resigned himself to fate. To them, it was just a change of master. Whether it was the 10,000 B-Sector Lord or Long Fei, to them, there was no difference. However, they did not dare to disobey the orders of their noble world. Especially now, the noble world had already given the order that the war for the God of Boundary had begun, and the God of Boundary from their respective worlds were already on the way. If Long Fei was not here, this competition for the God of Boundary would have definitely not been carried out. If the noble world were to blame them, they wouldn't dare to imagine such a crime. But Long Fei completely ignored him. He had killed all the people from the noble world. How could he obey the orders of the noble world? Non-existent. Jiang Chunxiu observed the situation from the corner of his eyes and already knew it from Long Fei's expression. Long Fei was truly angry. Forget about the war for the God of Boundary. Even if he were to start a war with a noble realm, Long Fei would never change his mind. As a lackey under Long Fei's tutelage, Jiang Chunxiu had long set his sights on this. Impudent. What world are you from? You dare to speak to your lordship like that? Master said that he wants to go to the Star Demon Realm, so he wants to go to the Star Demon Realm. Or could it be that all of you have long submitted to the tyrannical power of the noble world, and have long forgotten that you are also a world? Jiang Chunxiu said, full of energy. Seemingly, he followed Long Fei. It had already given him a sense of superiority in front of these people. Instantly, these people went silent. He looked at Jiang Chunxiu, flaunting his might in front of them with a face full of resentment. But there was nothing they could do. As long as Long Fei was here, they didn't dare to resist at all. He didn't even dare to make sound. All of them glared furiously at Jiang Chunxiu. You still dare to glare at me? I gave you face, right? What is Master's identity? Punching the world, slashing the existence of God a boundary. What do you want to do? Do you need to speak too much? Jiang Chunqiu looked at Long Fei as he spoke. But Long Fei didn't have the slightest of expression on his face. All right, no need to say any more. If you want to do it, then do it big. Since this world belongs to Laozi, then the god of boundary under Laozi's command is the strongest. When these people arrive, I'll immediately bring them to attack the Star Demon Realm. Long Fei said indifferently, as if he was talking about a very ordinary thing. However, when Jiang Chunqiu and company heard these words, their hearts were immediately thrown into turmoil. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. This lord, is he planning to start a great war? Jiang Chunqiu asked with a trembling voice, his eyes looking at Long Fei with even more reverence. Great world war? It can be said that the final goal is to overturn the supreme realm anyway. The Star Demon Realm is but a stepping stone. Long Fei said, disagreeing. If it was before, Long Fei might have felt a little guilty when he said these words. But now, the great way of the Buddha was in his hands, and he still had the god of Boundary Blade. Who was he afraid of? Who else do I need? Swish! Immediately, everyone's eyes shifted their gaze on a Long Fei. It was filled with shock and fear. The Great War of 10,000 Worlds. This Lord, Lord, don't be so crazy. That's right, my lord. The Star Demon Realm is a sacred place. One voice after another appeared, as they looked at Long Fei in disbelief. He couldn't even speak calmly. It was not because of a single word from Long Fei that caused his heart to surge. Rather, it was because of a single word from Long Fei that caused his heart to fall into endless fear. In their eyes, aside from lunatics, no one would dare to think of such a thing. The Great War of 10,000 Worlds? The Great War of 10,000 Worlds? Such a thing had never happened in a million years. In any case, from the time that they knew, ever since the all-world civilization was established, it had never happened. Each time was a survival of the fittest under the control of these super strong worlds. As for the all-world war, this is simply impossible. Even the noble realms would not allow such a thing to happen. But now, with just a single word from Long Fei, a great battle for 10,000 realms was about to begin. This was simply risking everything and going crazy. In fact, a scene had already appeared before their eyes. Corpses strewn across the fields, stars dropped, civilizations annihilated. This was a crazy act of destroying civilization and self-destruction. But at this time, Long Fei directly said, "So what if you're a noble?" Jiang Chunqiu is right. Your slavishness has penetrated deep into your bones. Even if you have the chance to turn the situation around, you will still act like lecherous dogs. I'm just asking you, are you going to do it? Do you dare? Long Fei said. His eyes were filled with disdain and mockery. Even if he controlled this entire 10,000 worlds, Long Fei didn't have much hope in his heart. Just as he had said, their servility had already been rooted and branded into their bones and blood. At this time, the people from the 10,000 worlds also fell silent. One by one, they began to pant hoarsely. Facing Long Fei's contempt, they clenched their fists tightly. However, in the end, he was still silent. They weren't able to resist at all. All words were pale and powerless. This was because they didn't dare to do so. As long as they thought of the might of a noble world, they would feel a sense of inferiority from the bottom of their hearts. They only wanted to survive in the cracks. Just like what Long Fei had said, if they wanted to be licking a dog, they would not fight back at all. Cough, cough, my lord. Maybe you're right. However, we are a single world, and not just us alone. We wish to preserve a single world, so this time I cannot agree with you. What the Lord wants to do is for the Lord. We, the world of gods, would not participate. However, there was still one person who stood up to resist. He immediately rejected Long Fei's suggestion. Yes, my lord, this matter is too crazy. The heavenly water world will not participate. My Skyfire world won't participate either. I won't participate. All were sounds of rejection. None of them agreed. My lord, You have such power, but we don't. We want to accompany you and go berserk. To put it bluntly, my lord wants us to die. We're not that retarded. At this moment, everyone in the 10,000 realms were weirdly unanimous. None of them wanted to follow Long Fei. In an instant, the atmosphere was extremely empty. Jiang Chunqiu's face also revealed some anger. His eyes were cold as he looked at the group of people in front of him, feeling extremely helpless. But Long Fei was completely indifferent and did not care about how the other party replied, because right now, the fate of their world was completely in Long Fei's hands. Whether they wanted to or not was one thing, but whether they did it or not was not up to them. With that thought, Long Fei sneered and said, "So this is your decision? You don't dare to disobey the Venerable One? You dare to disobey your father?" Long Fei said indifferently, but after saying that last word, his aura instantly exploded, and the power of his physical body vibrated in the air. Swish, swish, swish. Rumble. In the blink of an eye, another series of explosions sounded. The nebula collapsed. This was the wrath of the powerhouse. Wah! Instantly, the faces of everyone from the 10,000 worlds changed. His eyes glazed over, especially those who had been cheering merrily. Now they even kneeled down. "Calm down, my lord. Calm down, my lord. We did not mean to offend you. It's just that the Star Demon Realm and the Noble World are too powerful. We really don't want to die. That's right, my lord. It's not that the department doesn't want to follow. But rather than having us bear the burden of a future, we cannot afford to gamble." These people began to kowtow continuously, cold sweat beading on their faces. But if Long Fei did not speak, they would not dare to stop. However, right at this moment, several extremely powerful auras suddenly appeared in the sky. They all had a will of absolute control, incomparably tyrannical. Long Fei was also slightly taken aback, but after sensing this aura, he immediately relaxed, as though he did not care at all. "One arrogant brat. You actually want to start a war of 10,000 worlds. Who do you think you are? How dare you behave atrociously here? Really, without a tiger in the mountain, how can a monkey be king? Do you think you can behave atrociously just because the 10,000 beast god of boundary is not here? You reckless fool." Swish, swish, swish. One figure after another descended from the sky, their faces filled with arrogance. Arrogant. He had an arrogant look on his face. They simply did not take Long Fei seriously. Below, the people of the all-world were instantly stunned. These people were no other than the god of boundary of their world. Of course, only a few had come. "Master God of Boundary." "No." Instantly, one of them spoke out to stop them. These people had never seen Long Fei's berserk look before, but they understood what he was doing very well. As for the 10,000 beast god of boundary, if he added a little catalyst, his ashes would have F** king drifted across the ocean. If there was some spiritual earth to nurture it, the grass on the grave would be more than 10 feet tall, and it would still talk about the 10,000 beast god of boundary. Long Fei also had a smile on his face. These people were unconvinced, especially now, before the people who tried to stop him could finish their words. The god of boundary in their world directly slapped over. "Disgraceful thing. How could there be trash like you in my heavenly water realm? What garbage is worth kneeling for? My heavenly water world's face has been completely thrown away by you." The god of boundary of the heavenly water world snorted coldly and roared angrily. However, the people from the heavenly water realm shook their heads crazily. "No, Master God of Boundary, you have to be calm. Quickly apologize to this lord." 10,000 beast god of boundary. The person wanted to continue, but was interrupted again. This time around, it was even more direct, and was directly sent flying by the heavenly water god of boundary's slap. "You still dare to say? You dog! You truly are quite a disgrace." The heavenly water god of boundary said coldly. Immediately after, his gaze turned and looked at Long Fei. "Kid, if you know what's good for you, if you kneel down and beg for forgiveness, maybe I will forgive you if my mood gets better." The heavenly water god of boundary said. It was at this moment that the people of the world below suddenly exploded. "My lord, come back quickly. Master God of Boundary, quickly stay away from this idiot. You must not anger Master. Master got a boundary. Come back quickly. Things are just as you thought. Instantly, the people below began to struggle and roar, trying to bring the god of boundary back to life, and even directly stated that the heavenly sleeping god of boundary was a fool. Instantly, all the god of boundary in the air were stupefied, especially sky water god of boundary. Being called a fool by so many people, it was even more embarrassing. However, before he could speak, he heard Long Fei say, "They are right. You all are just a bunch of idiots. It seems like you guys are unconvinced, but it's all right. I'll just deal with all kinds of unconvinced people." Unconvinced? Unconvinced? Don't worry. Then let's see if you have the ability to struggle. Boom! It was also at this moment that the void fluctuated and endless nebulae dispersed. Thousands of figures that were killed descended inadvertently, wave after wave. In the blink of an eye, the 10,000 worlds god of boundary had arrived. Their first reaction was to look at Long Fei and to see the person that they had sent out kneel in front of Long Fei. Trash! What is this thing that has made my people kneel? You're truly looking to die. Kneel down now, this king, and I'll spare your dog life. Immediately, another person spoke out, and his words were exactly the same as the sky water god of boundary from before. The corner of Long Fei's mouth slightly moved, revealing a cold smile. This reaction was completely within his expectations. However, this was just right. As a transcender, Long Fei still understood what people thought inside their hearts. He had obtained a 10,000 worlds order now, but these 10,000 worlds were all planned by the noble realms. If they were to be led into battle, it was possible that they would go back on their word and even be stabbed in the back. Long Fei would definitely not allow such a thing. Thus, it was now the perfect time to kill and unite with one another. If only a few people came out to play, how would Long Fei have the chance to show off his might? Right now, the more these few people danced merrily, the more excited Long Fei became. Even if its strength was inferior to the 10,000 beast god of boundary, it was still not something that the young master of the 10,000 realm could compare to. As long as he killed them, he would have billions of experience. At this time, the people below them began to panic. Despite everything, he opened his mouth. "Master God of Boundary, don't be rash. This lord has unparalleled battle power. Even being able to slash through the 10,000 beast god of Boundary, he is already the strongest leader in this world." Immediately, someone directly spoke out. He didn't dare to go down at all. He was afraid that if he waited any longer, his god of boundary would become lawless and anger Long Fei. Instantly, space itself fell silent. It was like a stone that gave rise to 1,000 ripples, and all sound disappeared after that one sentence. Completely stupefied. "You must be joking. How can this be possible? The 10,000 beast god of boundary is so powerful. All of you." Immediately, several voices sounded as they turned their gazes onto the people from their world. He still wanted to struggle. He wanted to see from their faces that these words were just a joke. However, they were disappointed. Everyone in every world kept nodding, anxiety and fear written all over their faces. Shwa shwa shwa. All of a sudden, all of the god of boundary yes that came after him, without even opening their mouths, were immediately pulled out, leaving behind only this person who was pretending to be powerful in the air. That was close, but luckily I didn't say anything. Shoot the bird that's leading the way. This idiot, he's done for this time. Ha! And there's also that heavenly water god of boundary. I feel powerful, so I'm looking down on it. This time, I'm definitely going to be struck by lightning. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In an instant, these people all retreated to the side, although they believed that Long Fei had killed 10,000 beasts of god of boundary. But in his heart, he still had his own thoughts. He wanted to break free from his control and become the king. So right now, they were just waiting to see how Long Fei would handle the matter in front of them. But this time, the god of boundary of the heavenly water realm was completely dumbfounded. Even the people who had mocked Long Fei previously were standing in the air blankly. Looking at Long Fei, the aura on his entire body shook, and he appeared to be on guard. Panic, 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 and fear all appeared on his face, all of them extremely distorted. Especially Sky Water God of Boundary. It directly took a step back and captured the Sky Water Realm's people who were previously knocked over. You dog, why didn't you stop me? The Heavenly Water God of Boundary was furious. With that, the members of the Heavenly Water Realm had looks of humiliation. Didn't stop you? How many times did I stop you? You are a pretentious criminal, yet you want to act tough yourself. How can you blame me for not stopping you? It's good now. If we anger this person, not only will you die, we, the Heavenly Water World, will also suffer. You think I'm trash? Are you trying to force me? The people of the Heavenly Water Realm were furious. After repeatedly stopping the God of Boundary of the Heavenly Water Realm, not only was he unable to stop it, he was even sent flying with a slap. This was fine, but now he was blaming her instead? How could he endure this? Thus, this person directly threw caution to the wind and went on a rampage. Bastard, are you looking to die? I don't believe that someone can kill the 10,000 Beast God of Boundary. The Heavenly Water God of Boundary was infuriated, and with a flip of its hand, a curtain of water surged towards him. With a casual wave, it engulfed him. Boom! Instantly, this person was directly killed by the Heavenly Water God of Boundary. But from start to finish, Long Fei did not speak. However, in the instant that the Sky Water God of Boundary killed the people from the world, Long Fei made his move. If you don't believe me, I'll let you believe me. I've said it before. I'm specialized in dealing with all kinds of complaints. Next, a punch was thrown out. Crash! The power of the Heavenly Water God of Boundary instantly collapsed. The curtain of water that soared into the sky was directly blown apart with a single punch, turning into endless droplets of rain. But Long Fei did not stop with his punch, aiming straight for the Sky Water God of Boundary. Sky Water's blade. Sky Water God of Boundary's eyes were filled with shock. With a wave of his hands, a long sword that was like ice crystals appeared in his hands. It pierced out fiercely. But this kind of power was completely unable to resist under Long Fei's punch. In the blink of an eye, it was shattered by Long Fei's fist. Impossible! This is a world-suppressing holy artifact from my Heavenly Water Realm. How is this possible? The Sky Water God of Boundary was flustered. The long sword shattered, and no longer had any will to fight. He turned around and was about to run away. But he was fast. Long Fei's punch was even faster. Just as the Sky Water God of Boundary turned around and was about to escape into the void, Long Fei's fist directly landed and smashed his head with a punch. Long Fei's figure also moved 1,000 steps, arriving at the place where the God of Boundary of Heavenly Water died. He can become a God of Boundary with such a cultivation. No wonder there's only the fate of slavery. Long Fei said indifferently, as his gaze began to sweep across the 10,000 Realm God of Boundary. They looked down on him with unparalleled arrogance. It was incomparably domineering. As long as his gaze passed by, everyone would lower their heads dejectedly. He didn't dare meet Long Fei's gaze at all. Plop, plop. Soon after, sounds of people kneeling came one after another. Mercy, my lord. My lord, spare us. We simply do not know anything. It's all Tinshui's fault. If it wasn't for this reckless act, how would we dare to offend an adult? There were more than a dozen of them who were frantically begging for forgiveness. There were all the people who started to gobble down Long Fei the moment they descended. Begging for mercy? Don't. Didn't you say that you're unconvinced? I like it the most, Long Fei said, and with a flip of his hand, the Myriad Realms token appeared. I want to know who gave you the courage to yell in front of me. The 10,000 world token is in your father's hands. The fate of your world lies in my hands. You all still dare to be unconvinced, Long Fei said. Swish, swish. In that instant, the God of Boundary of the 10,000 worlds all crumbled. Its eyes were fixated on the Myriad Realms token in Long Fei's hands. And then, plop, 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 all of them kneeled down in submission. As for Long Fei, he completely ignored them. The idea sank into the 10,000 worlds order and directly found the luck of several worlds, pulling it out abruptly. No, 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 I don't want to die. In an instant, a series of blood-curdling screams resounded. As for Long Fei, he completely ignored her and directly pinched it with force. Boom, boom, boom. In an instant, all of the god of boundary that Long Fei was trying to break in the few realms that he was in instantly exploded. His soul had been annihilated, and his body had been annihilated. Only then did Long Fei put away the 10,000 worlds token and coldly snorted, "In this world of 10,000 worlds, I am the only ruler." The world was silent, and all sounds seemed to pale in comparison. The world was silent, and all sounds seemed to pale in comparison. There was only one sound in space and time, outside of the void. "I'm the only ruler of all worlds. I'm the only one." He was the only one. Honorable. Every word echoed in the air, and every time they echoed, it would cause the entire world to tremble. All the god of boundary of the myriad realms raised their heads to look at Long Fei, their eyes filled with fear. At this moment, they no longer dared to have any thoughts of resisting. If it was just a moment ago, they were still hoping to escape from the grasp of others. Now this thought was gone as well. It was all because of Long Fei. In front of them was a high and mighty god. With a flip of his hand, he could control the fate of his world. Who would dare to disobey? "My lord, your powers cover the entire universe, suppressing 10,000 beasts. This is truly a great pleasure. From now on, we'll follow the adults. This time, we will definitely fight with this lord and overturn other worlds, making our world famous and respected. That's right, if we follow the adults this time, we'll definitely be able to rank our side of the world at the top." Instantly, these people expressed their loyalty over and over again. There was no choice. Long Fei was too domineering, so powerful that they didn't dare to disobey. But at this time, Long Fei shook his head. "You're overthinking it. This old man has never thought of following the orders of a noble realm to compete for this ranking. I've already said it. If you want to do it, then do it big. Follow me. I'll take you all and conquer all worlds. After getting rid of the noble worlds, you're the strongest in all worlds." As Long Fei said this, a crazy idea popped up in his mind, completely ignoring the system Notice's experience. At this moment, he thought of a possibility in his mind. It was a very popular phrase from his previous life. "To kill Jesus, I am God." It was the same for now. If he destroyed the Supreme Realm, he would be invincible. However, Myriad World's reaction was to fall silent in an instant. They looked at each other. A look of disbelief? Get rid of him. Supreme Realm? Overturn 10,000 worlds. How is this possible? The Prime Reaches are so powerful. Lord, don't be ridiculous. In front of the noble world, we cannot even be compared. How could they believe that Long Fei had that kind of power? Even if Long Fei was able to kill their level of god of boundary with a single punch, it could only mean that he was very strong. If they were to be compared with the noble realms, they didn't even dare to think about it. "What is it? You don't dare?" Long Fei asked. If it was before, the reason why the people of the 10,000 realms didn't dare to speak up was because their god of boundary hadn't arrived yet. And now, the 10,000 worlds god of boundary still had that expression. Is the honorable realm so terrifying that you're willing to be a grandson and not struggle for a bit? Long Fei ridiculed. It had to be known that he now controlled the 10,000 worlds token. The fate of all the realms was in his control, so he could easily take control of the lives of these god of boundary. But even then, it didn't make them want to fight against the noble world. Or perhaps it could be said that with their slave roots, the prestige of the noble world was too much for them. They had long ago come to believe that they were nothing more than prisoners. He didn't dare to resist at all. "My lord, you don't know how terrifying a transcendent realm is." Even the ancient world was suppressed by the noble world in the end. He was a mighty being that existed since before the time of civilization. He could not even resist against them. Furthermore, The other powerhouse realms are now subordinate to the supreme realm. What we have to face are 9 superworlds and hundreds of thousands of worlds. In so many worlds, a single person's mouthful of saliva can drown us to death. There's no way we can fight against it. Everyone said with difficult expressions. For example, Long Fei's decision was their very foundation, and even if it was life and death, they could not compare to it. After all, Long Fei was only a single person. They didn't believe that Long Fei could destroy their entire world just because of a single decision. However, the noble world was different. Once they followed Long Fei, there would definitely be no path for them to live at that time. If he didn't move, there was still a way out. If he did, he would die without a doubt. At this time, Long Fei also muttered. The words of these people revealed too much. Before civilization, it just so happened to confirm the history of the ancient world. In this way, it was sufficient to show that these worlds were similar to the ancient world S and were civilization at a certain time. And the noble world was the founder of this civilization. From this, it could be seen that the strength of a noble world was not something that these worlds could compare with. But so what? There are some things that you don't do, not because it's difficult. No matter how strong and powerful the revered realm is, I have 10,000 reasons to retreat. But if you touch my fruit, that is enough reason for me to fight. Long Fei thought. Moreover, no matter what, the Star Demon realm had to be destroyed. A dragon has a reverse scale. Touch it and you will die. Since the Star Demon realm dared to issue the 10,000 worlds hunting order to kill his woman, then this enmity would only end with death. Thus, this was even if the other party had a revered realm backing them. Long Fei would never back down. With that thought, Long Fei turned and said, "Now I'll give you 2 choices. One is to leave this place of intersection from now on and develop according to your own wishes. Once you enter the realm where 10,000 worlds intersect again, I will immediately shatter your world destiny. 2, follow me. If we fight to the end, then it doesn't matter if it's a myriad worlds or a supreme world. We'll just fight it out." Long Fei said. A single sentence was worth it. You want to retreat? If that's possible, then he might as well completely retreat. From then on, he would be separated from the universe and become a simple world. Otherwise, they would obediently follow him. For a moment, all the God of Boundary went silent. This time, Long Fei was directly forcing them to choose. Long Fei, however, did not agree with it at all. Since it can't be used by me, I'll either sink into complete destruction or perish. It's that simple. Jiang Chunxiu was already used to Long Fei's craziness and was no longer moved. He directly came to Long Fei's side and looked coldly and arrogantly at the God of Boundary in front of him. It was also at this time that the God of Boundary of the Myriad Realms finally made its choice. "My lord, I choose to hide in the universe. Lord, I choose to hide myself. I hope that sire can keep your promise." One by one, they all left, taking the people from their world with them. In the blink of an eye, only more than 1,000 worlds of over 10,000 God of Boundary had yet to become abnormal. Long Fei laughed softly, a cold sternness flashing through his eyes, but did not stop them from leaving. "My lord, why didn't you leave them behind?" Jiang Chunxiu asked. He was incomparably shocked. According to Long Fei's habit, he should never have let them go. "I want absolute loyalty. If they can't do it, then it's a disaster to keep them. But do you think a bunch of old bastards would be willing to accept it? Rest assured, when we meet again, it will be the day they die." Long Fei said indifferently, as his gaze looked at the remaining 1,000 God of Boundary. "Looks like you guys have chosen to stay. Very good. One day, you will be able to make your decision today, and we'll all be incomparably fortunate." The center of the universe, the center of the intersection. The center of the universe, the center of the intersection. Within a palace, the state of Zhou opened its eyes. A bright light suddenly shot out from between his eyes. 10,000 beasts are dead? Could there really be someone that could break through the laws of this world? It's getting more and more interesting. Who could it be? Long Batian, could it be you? Zun Wang's eyes were icy cold as he muttered to himself. Then he stretched out his hand and drew in the air. And at this very moment, above the 10 directions of the universe, at the same time, a mysterious power appeared. A figure pierced through the air, appearing behind Meng Hao. The Big Dipper realm, Star Demon realm, Phoenix realm, Divine realm, Immortal world, Ascending dust realm, Heaven origin realm, Savage tyrant realm, and Raging sea realm. The supreme powerhouse and god of boundary of the 9 great strong realms all kneeled. When this figure appeared, it was only a simple sentence. After that, it disappeared. However, this sentence directly set off monstrous waves in the intersecting lands of 10,000 realms. 10,000 beasts are dead. Someone from the ancient world had appeared. This time, there's something going on. Haha, you don't know your place. If you have some ability, you won't be able to find the north. Coincidentally, another batch of competitors is missing. A 10,000 world conquest. This time, my world deserves to be famous. One after another, maniacal laughter sounded from the 10 positions of the intersecting worlds, rushing out toward the sky, and then they all gave out orders. The Big Dipper realm belongs to the myriad realms. The god of boundary is the general, and the billions of powerhouse are the soldiers. Follow me to the battlefield. The divine profound realm belongs to the 10,000 worlds. He belongs to the Kuangba realm. In an instant, the troops of the 9 realms moved. Of course, there were also accidents, namely the Phoenix realm and the Star Demon realm. On top of the Phoenix realm, the Phoenix ancestor stood amidst the boundless flames, his gaze incomparably gloomy. Ancient world? Someone actually broke through the shackles and escaped from the trap? Phoenix realm ancestors' eyes were incomparably sinister. But at that moment, a figure suddenly appeared. It directly transformed from a boundless flame into a phoenix bathing in fire. Master, Master, you must save Big Brother Long Fei. I have a feeling that this time, the person who walked out of the ancient world is Big Brother Long Fei. You must save him. This phoenix embodiment was none other than Jojo. Jojo's face was filled with grief and implored. The face of the phoenix master was startled, and a killing intent burst out from the bottom of his eyes. Soon, however, he concealed the killing intent. Don't worry, you are the holy maiden of my Phoenix realm. Since this person truly has the ability to leave the ancient world, then this king will naturally not go back on his word. If he really is capable, then even if I had to go all out to save him, I would still be able to save him. The divine Phoenix Grandmaster said, Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master. As long as you can save Big Brother Long Fei, even if I want my Nirvana flame, I will not hesitate at all. Jojo cried tears of joy and said resolutely, all right, stop crying. Since the 10,000 world conquest has already begun, then it won't be long before the competition for the God of Boundary starts. You get ready. The divine Phoenix Grandmaster said. Jojo was startled, and his eyes revealed dense unwillingness. This preparation, needless to say, Jojo already knew this in his heart. The preparation for marriage. Because right now, the Phoenix realm in this place where 10,000 realms intersect had already gathered all 9 of them. Their purpose in coming was precisely to propose marriage. Of course, there were originally 10 realms. However, because the 10,000 beast world had disappeared, there were only 9 realms left. All right, I understand. As long as Master can fulfill your promise to Jojo, I will marry you. Jojo said firmly. However, his heart was like a drop of blood. He was in so much pain that he wished he were dead. Big Brother Long Fei, I'm sorry. But as long as you are alive, Jojo is willing to do anything. Jojo, as long as you are alive. Within the Phoenix Valley, the people of the 9 realms were also well aware of this news. They were all prodigies from 9 different worlds, and in their own worlds, they were also the peak powerhouse. Moreover, most of them were the young masters of a realm. Everyone was excited when they heard the news. The 10,000 world expedition. Is this going to be interesting? That's right. That would be for the best. When the time comes, we'll destroy some blind worlds and see who dares to mess with this young master's woman. Humph! Aren't you afraid of the wind blowing your tongue away? If not, why don't we train here? The smell of gunpowder was overwhelming. No one was convinced. But now, at this time, the people of Phoenix Realm would naturally not allow any sort of trouble to occur. Immediately, a steward came out to stop him. Calm down, everyone. Just now, the master had already sent out a secret order for me to inform everyone. If they can kill the ancient world and rebel, then the Holy Maiden will betroth her to them. The manager of the Phoenix Realm said. As soon as he finished his sentence, the people of the 9 realms immediately calmed down, and then each let out a cold snort. At this moment, a young man walked out from the crowd of the noble world. Ancient world, Long Fei. This time around, this emperor will definitely kill you. As the youth spoke, he left. He completely ignored the people from the other 8 worlds. But if Long Fei was here, he would definitely be shocked. Because this person was a completely young version of Emperor Xian. The scene changed and returned to the area where the 10,000 Beast World was located. This figure also appeared, and before she disappeared, she even gave Long Fei a meaningful glance. As for Long Fei, after the figure disappeared, the flames of anger in his heart were instantly ignited. Determine me as a rebel, Long Fei clenched his teeth. A deep sense of humiliation arose in his heart. That year, he had made killing Emperor Xian his life's goal. Now that the Emperor Xian was dead, the people of the noble world were standing on his head and pooping. In fact, with a single sentence, he could define himself as a traitor, allowing the entire world to attack him. Crack, crack, crack. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. A killing intent burst out from his body. You want to go on a conquest against me, right? It just so happens that I am about to go on an expedition against the 10,000 worlds. This time, let's see who can beat who. Long Fei said in a serious tone. His killing intent raged. All of it was released outwards. The faces of the god of Boundary S that were left behind turned solemn. When they stayed, they already knew what the result would be. However, the current process was transparent. Without any buffer, it directly exploded. F***CK, let's go all out. Our world is destined to be eliminated this time around. Why don't we go all out? Right, fighting head-on is better than being a dog for the rest of your life. In the end, someone has to eat meat. Lord, we fought with you. These people said. Long Fei was moved and snorted. Then let's do it. Everyone, this time, let's fight to the death. I, Long Fei, promise you, as long as you can survive, the center of this universe will definitely be there, your glory. In the depths of the universe, the endless void was crisscrossing. In the depths of the universe, the endless void was crisscrossing, an abandoned area that no one cared about. A wooden boat slowly appeared. The wooden boat was riddled with holes, on the verge of collapse. We can't hold on any longer. We can only descend here. I wonder where this desolate place is. It should be safe now. King, Star Demon Realm. You gone too far. Once we find our boss, we'll definitely destroy them all. Li Yuanba and the others had faces full of hatred. Crazy. It was too depressing. This period of time was simply torture for them. It was one thing if they were hiding here and there, but to them, running away when they saw someone was simply a life worse than death. After following Long Fei for so long, they had long gotten used to their blood boiling and fought to the death. But now, in this sort of time, there was no chance at all. These people were their elder sister-in-law, and there were many ties between them. There was no way they could have risked their lives. I wonder how Boss is doing now. According to the Boss Temper, in this place where 10,000 worlds intersect, he should be quite famous. Li Yuanba said. They knew Long Fei too well. He was definitely someone who did not want to be left alone. In addition, there were simply too many people from the myriad realms who were pretentious. How could Long Fei tolerate these people pooping on his neck? It was simply impossible. When Li Yuanba opened his mouth, everyone's eyes lit up with endless anticipation. As long as Boss is here, with Boss's strength, he will definitely be able to turn the tide. All the myriad worlds and all the stars are just dog shit. Yes, as long as Boss comes here, he will definitely annihilate the entire Yaxing demon realm. You actually want us to become slaves? How reckless. Zhang Yu, Li Wuxin, and the others were filled with righteous indignation as they said these words one by one. Let's land. The power of the other shore suddenly dimmed. I'm afraid, Patriarch Hong, he is already. At this time, Lu Luoxi suddenly said. What big sister Luo, she said, is right. The otherworldly boat is a weapon that is used to carry Ancestor across the other shore. Right now, most of his strength has been consumed, and I'm afraid that even Ancestor, he has already fallen. Hong Chuya also said, his face full of sadness. Damn it, bastard. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have left. Sky Soul said angrily. His eyes were full of remorse. If, back then, they were able to put their lives at stake and stay and fight. Perhaps this was not the end result. At the very least, even if they died, they would die together. It was impossible for them to abandon their brothers. I can't take this anymore. I'll go save the old Ancestor. Li Yuanba glared and was about to jump out of the boat. Me too, Brother Yuanba. I'll go with you. Zhang Yu also stepped forward. Immediately after, Lin Yusheng, Li Wuxian, and the rest all went up. Roar. But at that moment, a sword chime rang out. Aoya's long sword was unsheathed, directly blocking everyone's path of retreat. Go back, Aoya said coldly. Eldest sister-in-law, eldest sis, please let us go. If this continues, even our cultivation hearts will be clouded by dust. Lin Yuxing said, yes, elder sister-in-law, let's go. To be alive like this is too useless. Now that we are this strong, why do we have to live in hiding? And what is the purpose of our cultivation? Yes, elder sister-in-law. If eldest brother was here, he would have made the same decision. He must have just left. Everyone said with unwillingness on their faces. If Long Fei was here, I would definitely not stop you. Because Long Fei is a miracle. But you're what he cares about. You are what he wants to protect. If he's not here, I definitely won't allow you to die. Oya said firmly, not taking a step back. Eldest sister-in-law. The few of them spoke at the same time, yet they did not give up. Aoya is right. Long Fei is not here. I will definitely not let you guys go out and die. At this time, Lu Luoxi also spoke up. Right now in this starry sky, there are tens of thousands of worlds. Each world has their own combat strength. Although you all are not weak, facing the pursuit of 10,000 worlds, you have no chance of winning at all, Lu Luoxi said. At this time, the other shore's boat had also completely dimmed down, directly dropping onto the desolate planet in front of them. Whiz. Then, this ship disappeared and turned into the size of a fingernail. Finally, it landed in Hong Qiuye's palm. This time, even Lu Luoxi spoke out to stop them. Even if they were unwilling, they could only stay silent. What we need to do now is to wait. When Long Fei arrives, I believe that if Long Fei knew of our current predicament, he would definitely think of ways and means to find us. When the time comes, we will advance and retreat together. As Lu Luoxi spoke, his eyes revealed extreme helplessness. However, in his helplessness, there was also determination. It seemed that as long as they were with Long Fei, even if they died together, it didn't matter. But at this time, no one noticed that little unrivaled super hottie was winking at Li Yuanba and Li Wuxin. Li Yuanba and Li Wuxin were both dumbfounded. They had no idea what little unrivaled was trying to do. Aya, uncle's mother's right. You are all father's brothers. We can't let you take the risk. Coincidentally, this is a barren planet. Let's train well. When my old man arrives, we'll accompany him in killing everyone. Little Unrivaled clenched his fists, looking like a well-behaved child. The atmosphere suddenly became a bit more relaxed. The words of Little Unrivaled gave rise to hope in everyone's hearts. Haha, Little Unrivaled is right. We're too irritable. We should just rest up, train properly, and wait for our boss to arrive. Let's go, Little Unrivaled. Our uncles will treat you well from today onwards. As the crowd conversed, Li Yuanba took the lead and brought Little Unrivaled into the Desolate Stars area. Lu Luoxi and the others also heaved a sigh of relief. Yu Rou had even casually formed a few hand seals, creating a sky-devouring space. After that, Lu Luoxi, Hong Qiuyi, Aoya, and Xiaoyi had also entered the space and started cultivating. However, what he did not know was that it was in another part of the stars. Li Yuanba and the rest had just gotten into a posture ready to teach Yushuang. However, he was immediately interrupted by little unrivaled. "Big uncle, are you serious?" The little invincible guy had a sly smile on his face. Li Yuanba was startled and asked, "What do you mean?" Everyone else followed suit, staring at little unrivaled for a moment. "Cultivate? It doesn't exist." The reason I said that just now was to reassure Mother and the other ants. Of course I'm going to bring you guys here to cause trouble. As little unrivaled spoke, he held a miniature millstone in his hand. It was like a yo-yo, hovering above his palm and rotating up and down. Causing trouble? Little Woody, you can't possibly. Li Wuxin was stunned. His eyes widened as he looked at little unrivaled with disbelief. Little unrivaled nodded and smiled. "You're right. Back then, your father had led you on an expedition to another world. As your son, how could you be so easy to deal with? Hiding here? Impossible. I need a few uncles to help me sweep through the myriad worlds." In front of the 10,000 Beast Worlds forces. In front of the 10,000 Beast Worlds forces. The three vanguards had been cut off, and all traces of the 10,000 Beast World had long since disappeared without a trace. This place changed owners. Under the heavens and earth, Long Fei had become the ruler. 3 days had passed since the official order from the king to invade the world. Long Fei still did not take the initiative to attack. It was not because he did not want to, but because this place was still a region that Long Fei yearned to enter. 10,000 Beasts Abyss. Lord, in fact, it's not just the 10,000 Beast world that is in this abyss. It's also said that after every super strong world, there is such a place with an unfathomable depth. In the past millions of years, not even a single person has explored this area. Even the super strong realms god of boundary would not dare to do so. This place is basically a place where one can never return from. Jiang Chun Qiu said on the side. He was trembling all over. Behind him, 1,000 god of boundaries were the same. Looking at the unfathomable abyss, everyone had a cautious expression on their faces. It was as though he was a pilgrim on a pilgrimage, incomparably humble. It was as though this place wasn't something they had the right to look at directly. Only Long Fei had an indifferent expression. He could also feel that there was a kind of mysteriousness beneath this abyss that was indescribable. Releasing the soul, those beings that experienced the baptism of time, an ancient and mysterious feeling filled his heart. And Jiang Chunqiu's words made Long Fei feel slightly moved. Initially, he had thought that this abyss was like the 3,000 peaks and was a base of operations for the 10,000 Beast world. But it wasn't like that at all. There are 10 of these places in the center of the universe. Long Fei thought. Inexplicably, he directly linked it with the ancient emperor. In the heart of intersecting worlds, there were too many legends regarding the ancient world. Whether it was Long Batian or others, they were all filled with the color of the unknown. The 13 great emperors were even more powerful. They were known as the 13 kings. How could such an existence not be awesome? F***CK. If it wasn't for the fact that we have to go and save them, we would have jumped down to see what's going on. In these 3 days, Long Fei kept making decisions in his heart. Even the Sky Spill Beast was awakened, all for the sake of investigating, to see if this abyss had anything to do with the 13 emperors. But the Sky Spill Beast's answer was simple. "I don't know. Forget it. I can only wait for the future," Long Fei said in his heart. He was extremely unwilling. It was not fear that he did not dare to enter. Rather, he was afraid of wasting too much time. Right now, the noble realm had already come to suppress him, and the existence of the young god realm was also fraught with danger. If he did not resolve these concerns, Long Fei would not dare to take the risk. Furthermore, within these 3 days, Long Fei had already felt that outside of this world, there were already streams of extremely tyrannical energy gathering. The enemy had arrived. With just a thought, Long Fei suddenly turned around. Judging from the time, they should be here by now. I wonder which world it will be this time. Long Fei said indifferently, his eyes looking towards the sky, and the corner of his mouth curled into a cold smile. From here, teleporting to the Star Demon realm would consume too much energy. Therefore, this was also the reason why Long Fei had not left for such a long time. He had to wait. Only after the people from the 10,000 realms had arrived would he be able to gather more of the hatred within him and disperse the danger in the Yang God realm. It was also at this time that the god of Boundary S that had chosen to stay behind began to become restless. My lord, we seem to be surrounded? I feel it too. What a powerful aura. It's only been 3 days, and they're already here. Everyone opened their mouths, and their faces changed dramatically. Their perception of this world was limited. Long Fei had sensed something long ago, but they could not sense it until the other party arrived. This also showed that the people who came were very strong. At least, they weren't weaker than any one of the 1,000 god of Boundary S. Jiang Chunqiu's expression changed as well. However, Long Fei basically did not react at all, as he calmly looked outside in the air, completely unfazed. Seeing that, the god of Boundary became even more anxious. Some of them even spoke out. Lord, let's kill our way out now. That's right, Lord. If you sit still and wait for death, you will be extremely passive to us. Why not take the initiative to attack and carve out a path of blood? That's right, Lord. We'll be the first ones to clear the way. As these people spoke, their eyes were already filled with worry. They were afraid that the longer they lived, the worse it would be for them. So much so that some people looked at Long Fei with eyes full of distrust. After all, no matter how strong Long Fei was, he was still only a single person. But in front of him, even though the other party had already slaughtered his way to the door, Long Fei remained indifferent. Instinctively, they felt like Long Fei was lying to them. Because in the situation in front of him, if Long Fei was truly that powerful, if he could have killed the god of Boundary instantly, he would have rushed out a long time ago. Long Fei's eyes moved slightly. Seeing everyone's reaction, he chuckled. Are you afraid? Long Fei asked. These people could no longer be at ease. Their hearts had long since been dominated by fear. However, they would not dare to disobey him if he did not speak up. Lord, we are not afraid. When we decided to stay, we had already handed over our lives. The reason why my brain is stuck on my pants is because I want to fight for a way out. But Lord, even if we die, we want to die from a fierce battle. It's not like now, where we are surrounded and killed by others. The moment Long Fei's voice fell, endless retorts sounded. In their eyes, there was determination. Clenching their fists tightly, they looked like they wanted to fight to the death. In the end, you're still afraid. You guys are afraid that I won't be able to bring you guys farther away. But it doesn't exist, Long Fei said indifferently, full of confidence. Lord, there are still people who wanted to defend themselves, their faces flushed red, because that one sentence was immediately seen through by Long Fei. At that time, they had chosen to stay behind because they wanted to change the future of their world. They wanted to change their fate. But Long Fei's inaction caused them to panic, thinking that they had made the wrong choice. Only, before waiting for them to explain, Long Fei directly opened his mouth. Don't worry, the words that I, Long Fei, have said are not without count. When I said I would take you on an expedition to the all-world, I meant an expedition to the all-world. Dumplings by someone else? It doesn't exist. They want to catch a turtle in a jar, but I didn't know that I was also waiting for them. As for the things that you all are worried about, they will definitely not appear. Long Fei said as he took a step forward. His gaze was icy cold. 1,000 god of Boundary S were basically a total of unknown, but they still could not avoid a single path. Master, are we going to fight? Someone dared to ask. But Long Fei shook his head and said, no, not yet. It's useless to make a move so early. There are too many clowns. If we don't beat them up at once, they will definitely not know what trembling is. If you want to fight, then let them know at once what fear is. It truly is respect, Long Fei said, after which he closed his eyes and sunk into silence. In the endless universe, the starry sky rippled. In the endless universe, the starry sky rippled. Streams of starlight flashed with incomparable brilliance. However, the stars were too vast. Even though the stars were bright and resplendent, it was difficult to cut through the darkness. Suddenly, in the darkness, a disk whistled past. "Ha! Eldest nephew, I didn't expect you to be so powerful. You're even more powerful than Patriarch Hong Yi's other shore. I had originally thought that without the other shore, it would be difficult even for us to cross the starry sky. I didn't think that your millstone would be so awesome. I'm convinced." Li Yuanba, Lin Yusheng, Tinshui, Black Knife, Chen Tianfei, Arhut, and a few other Vidra. Besides Aoya, all of them were on the plate, with no exception. On the other side was Zhang Yu, Li Wuxin, and Little Unrivaled. That's it. This is something made by my father. How can it not be awesome? He had a complacent look on his face, but soon after, he became gloomy. Uncles, we came out to do something big this time. Men have to have a sense of responsibility. These trash from the space world actually dared to force us like this. I definitely won't take this lying down. Let's kill our way back, Little Unrivaled said. All right, let's fight our way back. Li Yuanba suddenly stood up. On his large bald head, there just happened to be a flash of starlight that reflected an endless amount of cold light. In the next moment, Little Unrivaled controlled the millstone and flew away. At this time, in the 10,000 Beast world, Long Fei still had his eyes closed. It allowed the air to be surrounded by flying machines. 1,000 God of Boundary-s were extremely worried. In front of his eyes, he had become a powerful enemy. It wasn't excessive at all to say that the true all-world had descended. Jiang Chunxiu could not stay calm either. Looking at the still, inert Long Fei, his heart was moved. Long Fei was very strong. He believed that Long Fei could take care of everything. But now there were too many. Nearly 10,000 aircrafts had arrived. Moreover, the number was still increasing. "My lord," Jiang Chunxiu said in a low voice. He did not dare to guess Long Fei's intentions, as he simply could not guess what Long Fei was planning in his heart. But now, there were simply too many people in the 10,000 worlds. However, Long Fei remained silent and did not move, as if he did not hear anything. At this moment, the God of Boundary below was in an instant. I think we followed the wrong person. He isn't as strong as we thought. Originally, I had thought that we would be able to live like humans once. But now, it seems that it's just a pipe dream. Following him means that we won't even have the chance to become dogs. If he doesn't do anything, we'll do it ourselves. Even if I die, I won't sit here and wait for death. Some people began to angrily berate him, and their hearts were filled with endless regret. His tone was filled with disappointment and contempt for Long Fei. But even so, Long Fei still did not move. Immediately, the God of Boundary flew out. Holding a long blade in hand, it rushed forward. It was also at this time that a move was finally made outside the starry sky. Boom! A huge explosion sounded out, blowing up the entire 10,000 Beast world. Tens of thousands of aircrafts appeared in front of everyone in an instant. Damn, you're not joking, right? Just a few pieces of trash? Isn't it enough for me to kill him myself? Why do we gather so many people just for these few pieces of trash? One figure after another walked out from the flying ship. Looking at Long Fei and the 1,000 God of Boundary, endless ridicule could be heard. And it was also at this time that the God of Boundary that had acted earlier also appeared in the air. "You dog, I will fight it out with you." The God of Boundary roared and slashed down. However, before they could even get close to them, they were immediately intimidated by a ray of starlight. He was imprisoned in the void. Pow! Immediately after, the starlight turned into long whips, slashing onto the face of the God of Boundary. "Dog, do you think you have the qualifications to do so? An insignificant world's God of Boundary, an existence akin to a slave, dares to say that. At most, you're just sending yourself to your death. At this moment, a figure walked out, exuding an extremely powerful aura. He walked step by step to the side of the god of boundary. Trash, how dare you attack? It's good that you're giving it to Lousy. Lousy is the Kai Yang holy general of the Northern Dipper realm. I'm here on orders to kill the traitors. Anyone who dares to resist will be like this man, who can make a decisive decision. As Kai Yang spoke, he lifted his hand and pressed down his palm. But right at this moment, the shadow of a fist appeared. It caused the void to tremble. Kai Yang's expression changed. He didn't even have time to think before changing the direction of his palm strike. Boom! The two forces collided in the air. The palm print instantly shattered, and Kai Yang's body was sent flying backwards, even striking out into the void. And the owner of this fist shadow had also appeared. It was Long Fei. Long Fei's gaze remained calm as she continued to walk in the air. You're so weak, and you still dare to challenge the Holy General? At the very least, you have to have a sense of propriety when you act tough. Long Fei said disdainfully. Impudent. Boy, you still dare to make a move in front of us, the 10,000 worlds of the Northern Dipper? Do you know that you're provoking us? Humph. If you hadn't launched a sneak attack, would Kai Yang's Holy General would have been hit by you? You reckless fool. Once Holy General Kai Yang arrives, I will immediately kill you. There's no need to wait. It's the same for us to take action. As long as we kill him, our world will be able to raise our rank by 100. Then what are we waiting for? It's just the ancient world's rebellion. Let's attack together. Instantly, under the Big Dipper, the people from the myriad worlds all made their move. The absolute majority of them were God of Boundary-S. It was only the world's God of Boundary below the Big Dipper realm, and its strength was only comparable to Long Fei's 1,000 God of Boundary. At this moment, they already knew that Long Fei was their target, the rebellion of the ancient world. Therefore, all of them seemed to be on stimulants as their killing intent surged. However, at this time, the God of Boundary-S on Long Fei's side also rushed into the sky one after another. Without waiting for Long Fei's order, he immediately took action. As for Long Fei, he slowly walked to the side of the God of Boundary that was sealed, and with a casual tug, the restraining force formed by the starlight was immediately extinguished. He's a bit bloodthirsty, but he's not very obedient, Long Fei said indifferently, as he stared at the God of Boundary with interest. Immediately, this God of Boundary flushed red, ashamed beyond belief. My lord, me, he wanted to explain, but was interrupted by Long Fei. You can avoid death, but you can't avoid death. This time, after conquering the 10,000 worlds, your ranking in the world is directly at the bottom. Are you convinced? Long Fei said. That person was stunned, and his face turned bitter. But in the bitterness, there was still endless excitement. Sir, it doesn't matter if we're ranked last. Our world just depends on war to survive. As long as I can fight, even if I, Wang Yun, die, I will have no regrets. Wang Yun, who was also the God of Boundary that Gu Zi had attacked earlier, said with a resolute expression. Long Fei laughed instead. Wang Yun, right? Expedition to 10,000 worlds isn't a joke. If you want to fight, then obediently raise your strength. But now, as Long Fei said that, his gaze turned and looked at the people from the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper. The slaughter has only just begun. Long Fei's words changed the conversation, and in an instant, his killing intent overflowed into the heavens. And then, he would charge straight into the million worlds of the Big Dipper. Long Fei's figure moved horizontally and horizontally. Long Fei's figure moved horizontally and horizontally. A fist exploded out, filled with nothing to look down upon. The violent energy instantly exploded and dispersed into the crowd of the Boundless Dipper. Puff, puff, puff. Several hundred God of Boundary-S were directly crushed by Long Fei's fist. What kind of power is this? How is this possible? How is it possible for a single person's strength to reach such a level? He killed the god of boundary like he was slaughtering dogs? I don't believe it. Instantly, the god of boundary of the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper was stunned. He was completely dumbfounded. Long Fei violently attacked, killing them with a single punch, completely becoming a nightmare in their hearts. This was especially true of the ones who had been fighting to be the first to attack. Their faces were ashen. It was filled with fear. Such a Long Fei. Was it something they could deal with? Impossible. At the same time, what was shocked wasn't just them, but the god of boundary of the 1,000 worlds on Long Fei's side. All of them were dumbstruck as well. The moment Long Fei took action, all of them were immediately eliminated. Is this the reason for the Lord's silence? Ha ha ha. We were wrong. We were really wrong. My lord seemed to be very calm and composed before, but in truth, you've been hiding your murderous intent for quite some time now. Scram, what do you mean by harboring murderous intent? This is clearly a naked slaughter. 1,000 god of boundary looked on dumbfoundedly as they quietly retreated from the battlefield, watching Long Fei's violent actions. Jiang Chunqiu kept swallowing his saliva. He already gave himself illusions to understand just how strong Long Fei was. But now he understood. The man in front of him was someone he would never be able to capture. Even a shadow could not be caught. From the very beginning, Long Fei ruthlessly oppressed everyone, and then he killed all the beasts in the God of Boundary with a single punch. He thought that this was already the limit of what he could see, but now he knew that this description was far from enough. Just like now, it was impossible to open it alone. He was completely the ruler of the battlefield. He wasn't fighting the enemy at all, but slaughtering them. Unilateral slaughter. That's too crazy. Following an adult in this world, what 10,000 worlds, what 9 great worlds, it's all a joke. Jiang Chunqiu was extremely excited. He felt that he had hugged the right leg this time. But at this time, Long Fei basically did not care about what they were thinking. Killing had already become the sole purpose in his heart. These past few days had been spent in a siege of 10,000 worlds. Just like Long Fei had said, they wanted to catch a turtle in a jar, and Long Fei wanted to wait for them. There were too few rabbits. How could he fill his stomach? How could he make the heavens fear him? As he thought of this, Long Fei's eyes became serious, and his eyes immediately covered all of the people from the 10,000 realms. Raging Dragon's Town. Long Fei coldly spoke as 4 words spat out from his mouth. However, as soon as these 4 words came out, the entire space was filled with space. They instantly went berserk. Roar! The body of a huge dragon that was tens of thousands of meters long suddenly appeared. As the dragon's eyes looked down, the moment it moved, hundreds and thousands of God of Boundary were engulfed within. Boom, boom, boom. One after another, sounds of shattering appeared. Under the might of the dragon, these people were instantly crushed. There was no surprise at all. Ding! As for Long Fei's side, the system's voice also appeared once again. It went berserk non-stop. However, Long Fei completely ignored him. The domination of the Raging Dragon Town had only just begun. The only thing he needed to know was the final number. At this time, the people of the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper had gone crazy. A complete riot. He had been acting arrogantly just a moment ago, with the face of a conqueror. Now that the city had completely changed, they were filled with grief and indignation. Each and every one of them was like headless flies that were madly scurrying about. Crazy escape. Flee. This is not human at all. Crazy. This kind of combat strength is not something we can withstand. We have to escape. Just now, I thought it was a sneak attack. From the looks of it, not to mention the Kaiyong Holy General, even if the Big Dipper God of Boundary came, it would have died already. He didn't dare face Long Fei at all. Want to run? Impossible. A group of supreme beings like you were so arrogant when you shouted, and now you want to run away? It doesn't exist. Long Fei said indifferently. A decree that revered the world and ruled the heavens had directly set the ancient world as the enemy. This made Long Fei very unhappy. Being targeted from the very start, no one would feel comfortable. Just because he was from the ancient world, he could mock him. Just because of this, he could be considered a traitor. who gave him the qualifications. The people Long Fei detested the most were people who were conceited and haughty, just like the gods' tribe back then. So what if he was supreme? What about hegemony? In the end, it was still flipped over by him. But now, in the starry sky of the myriad realms, Long Fei still did not retreat. If he didn't accept it, then it meant just right. If the noble realms were powerful, then he would overturn them. If they were to engage in a 10,000 world war, then they would have to annihilate all worlds. And now it was only that step. That was annihilation. Therefore, Long Fei definitely would not let them escape. This time, Long Fei wanted to exterminate all of them. He wanted to make sure that all of the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper stayed here. In this battle, he wanted to let everyone under the heavens, in the 9 heavens and 10 earth, know that he, Long Fei, was not a soft persimmon. Thinking about it, Long Fei's hand turned heavy. The blade of God of Boundary slashed down heavily. At the same time, the power of the wild dragon exploded out. It whistled through the air, crushing everything in its path as it swept across the area with its enormous body. The body of the dragon howled as it moved through the void. Each scale was incomparably vicious and emanated a boundless, oppressive power. Shwa shwa shwa. Rumble. Rumble. This time, the power of the raging dragon's town world was fully displayed. The god of boundary of the boundless Big Dipper had no way out. When the dragon's power swept past it, it immediately turned into a pool of blood without any way to resist. In just a single breath, he had killed thousands of people. The entire void was dyed red with blood. The sea of blood surged, and corpses rained down. All of a sudden, it became a purgatory of the human world. What a terrifying comparison. The remaining people instantly wailed in anguish. Oh no, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Damn it, the god of boundary of the Big Dipper. This is F** King bullshit. Is this what you call killing traitors? This is F** King asking us to die. Long Fei was too berserk. The strength level was not something they could compare with. Initially, he was brimming with confidence and wanted to build a successful career for himself. In the end, he realized that it was a huge pit, a pit that even a human could not fill with his life. Sir, you don't want me to kill us. That's right. There is always a debt to a wrongdoer. We were also forced to do so. If you want to look for the Big Dipper god of boundary, then look for the master of the Northern Dipper. In an instant, someone pleaded for mercy. Because escaping was already impossible, the only thing they could do was to beg for mercy. But on Long Fei's side, it would not work either. Begging for mercy? Why didn't you say you were when you shouted defeat in high spirits? Have you submitted now? No. If you think I'm a traitor, then I'll call the heavens a thief. Today, I'm going to kill the thief. Long Fei pointed to the sky with his cold eyes. Long Fei pointed to the sky with his cold eyes. He pointed to the sky as a thief, domineering and disdainful. The domineering aura was incomparably violent. Damn, how domineering. My lord, this is what you are truly like. To think that the heavens are a thief, to kill a thief with a single word. My blood must be boiling. You're right. Blood is not yet cold, and the reward is for his lofty ambition. If your heart does not die, then why would you care about the vicissitudes of life? Pa, stop acting cool. It's an adult who's amazing, not you. Below, the 1,000 god of boundary S where Long Fei was at had completely submitted. He was shocked by Long Fei's fighting strength, and at the same time moved by the unreconciled and unstoppable idea. All of them rubbed their hands together, their blood boiling. They couldn't wait to be the one fighting right now. At the same time, the faces of those from the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper were filled with endless hatred. As things stood, it was impossible for things to be good. They knew that this time, they had truly met an existence that they could not provoke. He would die if he touched it. Kid, don't be too arrogant. If you have the guts, let us go and do evil deeds for you. In front of you, you're not even an ant. That's right. If you have the guts, then spare us. Let me see how you kill those thieves. You even refer to the heavens might thief. Why don't you just go up into the sky? The god of boundary of the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper said, one by one. As one was on the verge of death, one could say anything. Right now, they were purposely provoking Long Fei, wanting him to spare them. However, this kind of trick was child's play in front of Long Fei, because they did not understand Long Fei at all. Honorable Zhou, Big Dipper, god of boundary. Don't worry, I will go. But sadly, your thoughts failed. I will not give you this chance. I never get threatened when I kill people. Of course, I won't be provoked. Die! Long Fei's pupils contracted as his killing intent surged. Next, another blade came slashing down. Another raging dragon surged out. Roar! The berserk dragon roared furiously as it flew about. The huge dragon body became the only object in this space. The remaining people of the boundless Big Dipper were immediately sucked into it, instantly dying and disappearing. As for Long Fei, there was not the slightest change on his face. Right now, he had already unlocked the second energy of the God of Boundary's blade and was able to unleash the limitless power of this blade strike. The only thing that was used was the holy source value. But right now, Long Fei did not lack any holy source S. A set of the Raging Dragon's Town world could just take away the God of Boundary, and that was enough to make up for it. At this moment, the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper had been destroyed, and Long Fei's figure was the only one in the entire space. There were also the myriad realms aircrafts that completely vanished into nothingness during this battle. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the God of Boundary of the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper. You have received 168. 2 billion points of experience points, 17 billion points of Holy Source S, and 10,000 points of Berserk. At this moment, the system's voice rang out. Just as Long Fei had thought, it was immediately the final number. TSK Tisk, that's great. This is just one of the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper. There are still 7 other worlds, and there's still the Noble Realms. If this whole thing gets destroyed, it'll just be a huge upgrade. It's a pity that all that are coming are God of Boundary S. If all the power in this world were to come, then even if one of the 10 billion strong army only has a few thousand experience points, they would still be amazing. Long Fei thought. Incomparable excitement. To him, level was power. Especially after he had stepped into the super perfection, the degree of leap in power had even made Long Fei stupefied. This was too crazy. When he was at the 4th level of the Paragons, even if he used this wild dragon town, he could at most cause a small-scale annihilation. But now he had truly shown what it meant to hold the world in check. Berserk Dragon 1, Boundless Cherry Blades. The 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper were instantly destroyed. Furthermore, since Long Fei had stepped into this space, he had already planned to clash head-on with that person from the Noble World. Therefore, it would be for the best if he could upgrade it by a certain level. However, following the annihilation of the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper, Long Fei knew that it was time to make a move. The battle for 10,000 worlds had just begun. The Big Dipper world was just an appetizer. To him, the real battlefield was still in the starry sky. Following that, Long Fei walked down from the sky step by step. Welcome, Lord Victorious Return. Lord, this is what I call invincibility. No wonder my lord is indifferent and has been waiting. So it turns out that we've already prepared to keep all of them here. I knew it. Lord, when you attacked, you would be able to do it with ease. Thousand Realm God of Boundary was overjoyed. This was especially true for Wang Yan. His face had already turned a deep shade of red. He felt that in front of Long Fei, his previous performance was simply idiotic. She was filled with righteous indignation, and even blamed Long Fei for not taking action. But now he had been slapped in the face by Long Fei. It perfectly explained what it meant to have a handsome posture and to be fast when attacking. There was no way to compare it all. This sort of backhanded attack would turn the heaven and earth into a thief. With a single attack, 10,000 worlds would be annihilated. This kind of domineering aura had already become the dream of his entire life. Plop! A loud sound echoed out. Wang Yan kneeled down on the ground. Lord, Wang Yun's life is yours from now on. Wang Yun was extremely excited, his fists clenched tightly as he looked at Long Fei, as though he was looking at the hope of life. Long Fei was startled, and his back tensed up. A chill swept through his heart. "Don't be so nervous. When you leave this place, you'll be my Long Fei's brothers. I said that I'll take you out into the starry sky and wipe out all the worlds. That's what I'll do." Long Fei said. This gaze from Wang Yun was truly unbearable to the extreme. Instinctively, he pulled Jiang Chunqiu in front of him. Now that the people from the Big Dipper world have been settled, we're also preparing to set off. The next destination is the Star Demon Realm. Long Fei said. The goal is extremely clear. As Long Fei's words fell, the eyes of the thousand god of boundaries before them suddenly shone with rays of bright light. At this time, at the center of the universe, within the 10,000 Worlds Great Hall, the Emperor's eyes opened once more. Trash, rice bucket. Long Fei, a trash like you actually has the heart to overturn the heavens? If I had known earlier, I would have killed you in the ancient world. Master Zhou was infuriated. Supreme Realm is the highest realm, and he is the god of boundary of the noble world. Standing in the middle of the universe, he could feel the information going back to the myriad worlds. He was the first to sense the destruction of the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper. That was why he was so furious. Suddenly, at this moment, a figure entered the hall with a look of shame and fear on his face. Honored Zhou. Me. How? Just as the other party was about to speak, he was interrupted by a palm strike from the Emperor. You what? You still dare to come here? The Big Dipper was actually destroyed by thousands of people? What's the use of real face keeping you? The king said coldly. This man was the god of boundary of the Big Dipper. I was careless this time. I humbly request that you give me another chance. This time, the Big Dipper will personally make a move, and it will definitely give you a satisfactory answer. Beidou said with a gloomy look in his eyes. Towards Long Fei, his heart was equally resentful. Good. This time, either you die or he dies. Zunzhou slightly nodded and said in a low voice. Beta didn't dare to say anything else. He heavily kowtowed, then turned around and left. And at this time, the world of the 9 great powerhouses was completely shocked. Long Fei's name, after this battle, shook the 9 heavens and 10 earth. Star Demon Realm, Stellar Hall. Star Demon Realm, Stellar Hall. As a super strong realm, the Star Demon Realm had an extremely high status. And because of his marriage with a noble realm, he had even boasted that he was the king of shoulder to shoulder, becoming an existence only inferior to a noble realm. Thus, even the palace itself was extremely tall. The entire thing was a star forging. It was incomparably vast and vast. Not only that, outside of the constellations, there were also countless formations supporting it. The light was so dazzling that it filled the entire sky. Boom! Asterisk, but at this moment, an explosion sounded from the palace. On top of it, the star demon, god of boundary, had a frosty expression. Long Fei, ancient world, a mere trash, actually went so berserk? And you actually threatened to attack my star demon realm? The face of the star demon, god of boundary, was abnormally cold. Just a moment ago, the news of Jizun exterminating Long Fei had traveled all the way to the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper, and even the news that Long Fei was about to attack the Star Demon realm had spread across the entire sky. That was why the Star Demon god of boundary was so angry right now. Sire, there's no need to worry. He's just a brat who's still wet behind the ears. Our Star Demon realm is not something that the trash world can compare to. The god of boundary of the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper is only equivalent to the strength of our star demon generals. It's not even worth mentioning. To destroy the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper, we don't need too many Star King. We only need 5 people to accomplish it. Within the Great Hall, a few core members of the Star Demon realm spoke. The expression on the face of the Star Demon, god of boundary, finally eased up a bit. But no matter what, my Star Demon realm's face cannot be slapped. A mere civilization turned into trash And you dare say that you can't go against my star demon realm? That's right, my king. Let's take action and bring back that brat's head. The few of them spoke with a haughty tone. It was as if he did not put Long Fei in his eyes at all. All right, I'll leave it to you. However, I still can't underestimate it. This brat is also arrogant, actually allowing the 10,000 beast world's god of boundary to leave, leaving behind only 1,000 pieces of trash. With just these people alone, they were able to destroy the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper. I can see that this boy is not simple at all. The star demon god of boundary said. Then, his expression changed, and he suddenly thought of something. No, this kid killed a 10,000 beast god of boundary. If that's the case, you won't be able to take it. The star demon god of boundary's rage disappeared, and he started to analyze Long Fei. In his heart, he was the same as these star demon kings. He did not care about Long Fei at all. Moreover, his strength was far above the average strong realm god of boundary. Just like what these star demon kings had said, 5 star kings would be sufficient to annihilate the entire world. This was power. This was confidence. Take the star demon realm, for example. Even a star demon king could only count as the second stage of the corpse. Above star demon emperor was him. With this kind of strength, it was enough to make him look down on the heavens. Only, Long Fei's power was too bizarre, causing him to be somewhat cautious. Therefore, when he thought about how Long Fei had killed the 10,000 beast god of boundary, he immediately overturned his previous decision. The faces of several of the star demon kings changed as they exclaimed, "That is unlikely. The strength of the 10,000 beast god of boundary is even stronger than the star demon emperor. If that's really the case, then why would the evil emperor allow us to suppress it?" Suddenly, a star demon king spoke. There was a look of disbelief on his face. After all, Long Fei was someone who walked out of the ancient world. There are some things that involve too many things. This kid's name is Long Fei. He might be related to the demon from before the civilization. Therefore, I still can't leave this matter to you. Let the 5 emperors do it. The combined power of the 5 emperors, and you all should be absolutely safe now. The star demon god of boundary said. Following that, the star demon, god of boundary, was executed. All right, you guys can go now. I have already informed the 5 emperors that they will be coming out soon to lend them a helping hand. The star demon god of boundary said. Immediately, a few of the star demon kings were overjoyed. He was just about to open his mouth and prepare to attack. Suddenly, the entire astral palace shook. Rumble. Like an earthquake, the entire stellar palace began to shake. The face of the star demon, god of boundary, went cold. Do you want to die? You actually dare to attack my star demon realm? Could it be that Long Fei is already here? It's great that he's here. Let's go out and kill him. The faces of the few star demon kings were filled with rage. The same went for the star demon god of boundary. The rage that had just subsided once again rose abruptly. Killing intent surged. Bastard, you're tired of living. It just so happens that this god of boundary will directly eliminate him. With a wave of his long sleeve, the star demon, god of boundary, turned into specks of starlight and instantly disappeared. And at this moment, atop the stellar palace, a huge millstone was continuously bombarding the astral palace. Haha, fun. A palace built from stars is not that bad. It's so resistant to being beaten up. And what sort of trash array is this? It's simply not even worth a single blow. Even the millstone wouldn't be able to defend itself. A tender voice resounded through the void. He was incomparably arrogant, little unrivaled. Little Unrivaled controlled the wheel with one hand and released the super force of Ming Clan with the other. They were like the devils of the void, incomparably powerful. Behind him, Li Yuanba and the rest looked at each other. TSK, so you really are the boss seed. I like this kind of arrogance. Haha, who says it isn't? I seem to have seen the rise of another boss. I have a feeling that before long, the entire starry sky will tremble because of little Woody. Li Yuanba, Lin Yusheng, and the rest said. He too had a relaxed expression. However, his eyes were focused on his surroundings. Ready to fight. At this time, little Unrivaled seemed to be tired of playing around. A sinister killing intent flashed across his immature face. Bastards of the Star Demon Realm? Get out here right now. I'm here for my revenge. Little Unrivaled super hottie shouted. In the blink of an eye, the wheel in his hand shone with a brilliant light. The power of the god of underworld, the power of evil, as well as the power of the era and the power of the other shore, exploded out in an instant. Rumble. In a split second, the astral palace began to collapse. However, at this moment, a pair of large hands broke through the stars from the stellar palace. With a fierce movement, he directly held the wheel in his hand. The expression on little Unrivaled's face changed. It was incomparably heavy. Evil power of the god of underworld, explode. Little Unrivaled let out a sound, and waves of power emanated from his body, as if he was one with the release wheel. However, what happened next caused little Unrivaled to panic even more. This was because this power was completely useless. The entire roulette was tightly grasped within that large hand, unable to be pulled out. Oof, you're courting death. I thought that Long Fei, that bastard, had come to die. I didn't expect it to be you ants. The voice of the star demon god of boundary sounded out. Immediately after, the figure of the star demon god of boundary appeared. The few star demon kings followed closely behind. Sire, these are the ants that are trying to break free from the control of my star demon realm. That 10,000 worlds chasing order was also issued by the demon lord I sat on. Suddenly, a star demon king looked at Li Yuanba and the others and said, people of the sun god world? The star demon god of boundaries' eyes moved as it said coldly. The starry sky rumbled as enormous stars flashed, enveloping the entire star demon realm. The starry sky rumbled as enormous stars flashed, enveloping the entire star demon realm. The star demon god of boundary had even become the only protagonist of this world. Countless starlight descended and poured into his body, causing his aura to become even more mysterious and powerful. You want to break free from the control of my star demon realm with just this little power? They still dare to attack back. I really want to know, do you all know how to write the word dead? The star demon, the god of boundary, said arrogantly. Starlight circulated all over his body and a halo of light enveloped him, instantly attracting everyone's attention. The expression on little Unrivaled's face kept changing, with caution written all over it. You are the leader of the star demon realm? Little Unparalleled said lightly. His face was young, but his tone was firm. The star demon god of boundary remained indifferent and silent. Its eyes were like the stars, and it looked like a demon. It was extremely strange. However, behind him, those star demon kings could no longer endure it. Kid, whose family are you from? You actually came to my star demon realm to behave atrociously. TSK. I remember that those mothers of yours are not bad. Why didn't they bring them over to show us their filial piety? Ha ha ha. But at the same time, if I catch you, how can I be afraid that those few young girls won't appear? TSK. I get excited just thinking about this old man. A few of the star demon kings laughed. Incomparable lust. There was even a hint of vulgarity in the laughter. In an instant, Li Yuanba and the rest looked as cold as ice. This sort of thing was intolerable. Even if insulting them sounded bad, they could still tolerate it. But since it involved Long Fei and his own sister-in-law, this matter would definitely not be tolerated. Instantly, Li Yuanba made his move. With one step, he transformed into a giant that was dozens of meters tall and emanated an explosive will to fight. Astral energy. Boom! Asterisk with a loud roar. Li Yuanba's body instantly swept out, his fist striking out. In the beginning, Li Yuanba's power was already clear on the essence of power. Although it looked ordinary, it was shockingly powerful. Now that he'd fused the energy from the astral energy, it had become even sharper and more imposing. However, the people from the Star Demon realm did not understand that when they saw such a light punch from Li Yuanba, they did not take it to heart. With just this bit of strength, you still dare to attack? This king does not need the arrival of a star demon to kill you. Blade of the Stars. Kill. In an instant, a star king took action. With a wave of his hands, a beam of starlight descended from the skies. It directly turned into a long sword in the hands of this star demon king, and then it landed heavily. Sigh. Asterisk with a crisp explosion, Star Demon King's sword clashed directly with Li Yuanba's fist in the air. But unexpectedly, Li Yuanba's punch was like a super treasure, unbreakable. His stellar sword was completely unable to pierce through it. Not only that, it was even destroyed by the explosive power of the fist. Crack, crack, crack. Pieces of cracks appeared one after another. Star Demon King's expression changed. I have some power, but that's all. Look at my Star Demon fist. The Monster King was still as proud as ever, completely disregarding this matter. He was extremely confident in his own strength. Immediately after, his hands moved and streams of strength began to converge. But right at this moment, Li Yuanba suddenly accelerated all of a sudden. No need. Laozi doesn't have time to watch a performance. You should just lie down. Li Yuanba said brazenly, and then his fist closed in. Boom! Asterisk Star Demon King's body was instantly penetrated by Li Yuanba's fist. Blood splattered everywhere. Star King silently lowered his head, his eyes filled with shock as he saw a bloody hole appearing in his chest. You and me. The Star King's face was filled with terror, but before he could finish his sentence, his neck tilted and he fell to the ground dead. Instantly, after this scene, the remaining Star King's countenance changed. You're courting death. You actually dare to make a move in my Star Demon realm. You're dead. You're all dead. Not only will you all die, I will also cripple all of your cultivations, attract those women, and humiliate them in front of all of you. The Star Demon King of the Star Demon realm was unable to contain his anger. What was this? Killing a stellar king right in front of their eyes was simply a slap to their faces. You're courting death. At this time, Li Wuxin walked out with a murderous look on his face. If it wasn't for Long Fei, he wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for Long Fei, he would still be the trash of the Li family, the Heavenly Emperor's Ascension sect. He was just a piece of trash that could be thrown away at any moment when others called for him. It was Long Fei who gave him a new lease on life. Thus, in his eyes, Long Fei was supreme and unparalleled. And Long Fei's woman was equivalent to Long Fei. To bewitch his sister-in-law is to touch his reverse scale. He absolutely could not tolerate it. Swish! With a thought, Li Wuxin directly slashed out. The destructive sword intent instantly annihilated the void, locking down on one of the Star Demon Kings. This is bad. The Star Demon King also had a reaction and was about to make his move. Unfortunately, it was already too late. Swish! A cold sword light. As the sword beam descended, one of the Star King's body was directly sliced in half. Come on, let's talk about it later. Who's going to say it again? Who the hell are you trying to kill? The more Li Wuxin spoke, the colder his killing intent grew. At this moment, the remaining King Kong and Zhang Yu also took a step forward and united their forces. They used their actions to directly express their attitude. For a moment, all of the Star Demon Kings in the Star Demon realm went silent. A pair of eyes stared fixedly at the group of people. But no one spoke. They were scared. They truly felt fear. Kill them. I want to see who you guys can kill here. But right at this moment, the Star Demon God of Boundaries spoke. With a cold snort, both of his hands suddenly fell from the sky. Rumble. In an instant, an incomparably huge pressure suddenly appeared. It was as if all the power in this world was concentrated on this palm. He suppressed Li Wuxin and the others. Let me do it. Chen Tianfei suddenly took a step forward. He was a holy armor King Kong, so he had defense. In an instant, streams of power burst out from Chen Tianfei's body. The various divine armors that he had previously cultivated exploded at this moment, turning into an area with absolute defense. They forcibly withstood the pressure of the Star Demon God of Boundary. For a moment, the remaining people heaved a sigh of relief. Tian Fei, can you hold on? Don't force yourself. I'll bring little Woody down. We need to leave. The sky spirit said directly. All right, I can take care of it. You two take little unrivaled and leave first. Remember, you must protect little unrivaled well. Any of us can die, but little unrivaled can't. Chen Tianfei said with unswerving determination. Everyone understood. Everyone knew the importance of little unrivaled. That was especially true of the sky spirit. At that moment, it suddenly disappeared. When he reappeared, he would immediately be by little unrivaled's side. Let's go. The sky spirit grabbed little unrivaled and was about to leave. But before he could do anything, a streak of starlight instantly gathered on his body. Run? You want to leave after killing my people? He wanted the god of boundary to be cold and merciless. He wanted the god of boundary to be cold and merciless. Just like the cold starlight, the frost mountain's frost iron, the sky's spirit's body shook, and a great pressure immediately locked him down. Oomph, you're not a human. You're not an immortal or a ghost. What a special body form. But it's the same, he's just a piece of trash in front of me. Stellar chains, suppress them. The star demon, god of boundary, roared. Then he moved the tip of his right hand. Crash! The rays of starlight descended upon them. Moreover, this action did not affect the strength of his left hand. The gigantic palm on his left hand continued to release an endless amount of pressure on Chen Tianfei and the others. It was as though he was in complete control. He didn't feel any pressure at all as he directly crushed both sides. Moreover, it was an absolute crushing defeat. At this moment, the body of the heavenly spirit was directly penetrated by streams of astral light. Its 8 extraordinary meridians and the shoulder blade were all penetrated. It was as if a chain that connected the heavens was being used to imprison the sky spirit. Even if the heavenly spirit power was unique, it still wouldn't be able to break free at this moment. He was immediately imprisoned. You still want to run away? If I don't make a move, do you really think that there's no one left in my star demon realm? As for those trash, even if they die too. My star demon realm star king is as many as the hairs on an ox. It's nothing to worry about. The star demon god of boundaries said, filled with disdain. It was as if he was allowing Li Yuanba and the others to freely attack. Otherwise, not a single one of his men would have died. Immediately afterwards, the gaze of the star demon god of boundary directly looked at little Invincible. Everyone is protecting you, right? It seems your identity is quite special. It looks like your talent and the power of your blood vein S are ridiculously strong. However, my favorite thing is to kill geniuses. But before you die, I will make use of your waste. I also happen to want to know how devastatingly beautiful those women were. When the time comes, I will let them have fun under my crotch. Huh, how about it? Is this scene really that fun? The star demon god of boundary said, incomparably arrogant. Instantly, little Wu's eyes turned blood red. It was full of blood and slaughter. You old bastard, how dare you insult my family members? Die. Little Unrivaled's voice was still young and tender, but it was filled with a kind of hoarse hollowness. It was as if he had come from the depths of hell. At the same time, little Unrivaled's aura suddenly changed, and the endless power of the god of underworld blended together with the exploding evil energy in an instant. And in the air, the figure of a god of underworld appeared. Outside of his body, there were rolling evil energies, incomparably terrifying. Turn god of underworld over. Little Unrivaled let out a loud shout. Rumble. Instantly, the body of the god of underworld that was floating in the air turned around abruptly, and evil light burst out from his eyes. The expression on the star demon god of boundary froze. But soon after, it burst into a wild joy. Ha ha ha, this power? It can't be any better. Now I've changed my mind. I will let you live and become my puppet to gather the evil power of 10,000 worlds for me. The stars of the prison. Subdue. The star demon, god of boundary, laughed maniacally. Unable to suppress the desire in his heart any longer, he made his move immediately. Boom. Rumble. Rumble. All of a sudden, the void was blocked, and the stars were like fire, chasing after the void. Finally, he firmly encircled the god of Underworld's body that was formed from the power of the little Invincible. Boom! The starfire instantly spread down, and under this power, the god of Underworld's body instantly started to melt. Streams of astral fire directly burned the god of Underworld's body. What was even more terrifying was that little Unraveled's body began to melt. No! The sky's spirit roared, glared at him, and struggled with all its might. However, the more he struggled, the stronger the restraining force of the star chains became. In just a moment, the sky spirit had turned into a bloody figure. His body was dripping with blood as he continuously fell from the sky. It was also at this time that the strength on Chun Tianfei's body could finally no longer withstand this monstrous might. His body continued to bend forward, and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Oh, save little Unraveled. Don't worry about me. Hurry up and save Unraveled. Chun Tianfei roared. He heavily knelt on the ground. Ka! The bones of his legs were fractured, his knees were shattered, and all the bones in his body had broken through his flesh. The ghastly bones were mixed with his flesh, and it was a shocking sight to behold. I'll kill you. Die. Your father wants your life. One slash. Following after Chun Tianfei's power was broken, Li Yuanba and the rest flew up into the sky, ignoring everything else as they pounced. You're just an ant. What's the use of having so many people? However, the star demon god of boundary was dismissive. It directly shot back. An indescribable radiance instantly materialized in its eyes. Roar! Suddenly, a furious roar filled the air. All that could be seen was an astral demon that abruptly roared in the air. Boom! 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 With a face full of grimoire, Li Yuanba and the rest were immediately knocked away by the astral spirit demon. All of them fell into pools of blood. No more fighting power. TSK, Yang World. It's nothing more than that. I thought he was so awesome. They're just a bunch of trash. The star demon, god of boundary, said coldly, his face full of ridicule. However, Li Yuanba and the others still did not want to give up at this moment. Extreme indignation, extreme hatred. Trash. You still want to save someone even now? All right, then why don't you all kneel down for me? Obediently bark at me like a dog. When I first gave you a chance to be human, it was better to not be a slave than a dog. But unfortunately, I don't even have the right to be a slave. You can only be dogs. The star demon god of boundary ridiculed. And at this moment, below the skies, the people from the star demon realm and the few star demon kings from before also had incomparably excited looks on their faces. Haha, you've learned enough. Did you not hear my king's words? If you don't bark like a dog, this little bastard will die. With this kind of strength, you actually dare to come knocking on my door. You truly do not know life from death. Just like that old goo in the star cage, both of them are lowly bones. It's good now. You don't even need to be a slave anymore. Just be a dog. One voice after another was filled with scorn and ridicule. Li Yuanba and the rest had faces full of grief and indignation. His eyes were filled with killing intent, but when he saw that in the sky, he was already incomparably weak and was about to be burned by the astral fire, causing him to finally lower his head. Did we scream? You can let him go just like that? Li Yuanba said in a serious tone. You dog, do you have a choice? If I tell you to scream, you have to scream. The voice of the star demon god of boundaries sunk as he suddenly exerted more strength in his hands, causing the star flame to instantly explode. No, I scream. Li Yuanba's tiger-like eyes were filled with tears. His 7 orifices were ignited by anger and hatred, causing blood to flow out. It was at this moment that little unrivaled super hottie opened his eyes, tears streaming down his face. No, big uncle, no. Little unrivaled shrieked miserably. Little unrivaled shrieked miserably. He felt endless regret. He knew that all of this was because of his willfulness. If it wasn't for the fact that he thought he had a bit of cultivation, he would have insisted on bringing a few people to the Star Demon realm to seek revenge for himself. All of this would never happen. They did not need to face the incomparably terrifying Star Demon God of Boundary to be injured. They would also not allow Li Yuanba and the others to suffer humiliation. Please, uncle, don't scream. I'm a son of Long Fei. I am the Invincible Dragon. I can die, but I absolutely cannot live on with your dignity. My father is a hero of the world. His son cannot be a bear. Little Unrivaled shrieked and cried. His throat had already dried up and his voice was hoarse. But Li Yuanba and the rest were constantly shaking their heads. Woof, woof! Li Yuanba roared twice. His heart had already been shattered. His once unbridled pride, his domineering demeanor, his dignity that did not cower and harden, were now completely gone. Woof, woof, woof! Again and again. Black Knife, Li Wuxin, Lin Yuxing, no one had the slightest hesitation. They had no other choice. As long as Little Unrivaled lived, they would have no doubts even if they died, let alone barking like a dog. "Aw, kill me. You bastard, kill me if you dare. Otherwise, one day, I will be worse than someone who massacred your Star Demon realm and become a beast of the stars, forever suppressing the depths of reincarnation." Little Unrivaled was close to going crazy, screaming nonstop. But at this time, these words seemed extremely feeble and feeble. But at this moment, the Star Demon God of Boundary suddenly stopped what it was doing. Boom! Boom! The starlight that filled the sky instantly disappeared. Long Fei, I didn't expect you to be related to that traitor from the ancient world. Ha! The heavens are truly helping me. As long as you two are here, I don't believe that Long Fei, that dog, won't come. The Star Demon, God of Boundary, had an ecstatic expression. No such arrogance. In the next moment, the Stellar King moved his hands as he directly received the incomparably thick starlight. However, the starlight landed on Little Unrivaled's body. Ha ha ha! You want to turn me into a beast of the stars? Who do you think you are? Are you the Lord of Samsara? Trash. But now, I will turn you into a Star Demon, and at that time, Long Fei will personally kill you. Ha ha! Father killed his son. This must be an earth-shattering scene. The Star Demon God of Boundary said with incomparable viciousness. Ha ha ha! Our king is truly a man of heaven. He can even think of such a perfect plan. Ha ha! This is too good. For a father to kill his son, just thinking about it makes him feel extremely good. I can't wait to see that bastard Long Fei here. The people from the Star Demon realm laughed maniacally once again, their eyes filled with mad laughter. Li Yuanba and the rest tensed up, rage erupting from them. No, no, Li Yuanba roared. However, it was completely useless. He was already heavily injured, and the fact that he could survive was because the Star Demon God of Boundary had long thought of using them as bait. Hence, they could only watch helplessly as Little Unrivaled in the sky gradually turned into a star demon. In the universe, on a barren star, Lu Luoshi, who was in the midst of training, suddenly sobbed silently. He couldn't stop it at all. "Sister Lu, what's wrong? Elder sister, what's wrong?" Instantly, Yuro, Aoya, and the others hurriedly asked. "My heart hurts. It hurts. It hurts." Lu Luoshi forced himself to open his mouth and say. However, the moment he opened his mouth, he immediately fainted, as if he had suffered an extremely heavy blow. Yuro's face darkened, as if she had thought of something, and her hand cut straight through the heaven-mending realm space. Then she began to sense what was happening. But in an instant, her face turned deathly pale. "Not good, Little Unrivaled," Yuro said. So. In an instant, Aoya, Hong Chuya, and the others hurriedly stood up, and their figures began to travel back and forth across the entire planet. Even the little brat didn't stay idle and began to search. But the result could be imagined. No gains. It seems like something has happened to Little Unrivaled. The mother and child are connected. Sister Lu's current performance has explained everything. Only hope that everything is in time. Let's go to the Star Demon realm. Aoya and the others said. Finally, they fixed their eyes and moved on. However, right now, the other shore's boat was useless. They could only rely on their own strength to traverse the void. On the other side, a gigantic drone flew through the air. Boundless stars whizzed past him. This flying ship was precisely where Long Fei was. After exterminating the 10,000 worlds of the Big Dipper, Long Fei couldn't wait to start again. He had even personally built a flying machine. A different kind of flying machine. Just by looking at it, it was extremely similar to the fighters on Earth. On the fuselage, there were even a few large words, J-28. Inside the flying ship, a type of god of boundary was already burning with impatience, its eyes filled with fighting spirit. Jiang Chunqiu was excited as well. He was confident that this time, he would definitely be able to help the great Yang world move forward. But at this moment, Long Fei, who was closing his eyes, suddenly opened them. Then his face flushed. Puff! Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood. Everyone panicked and was about to move forward. But Long Fei waved his hand to stop it. Puff, puff, puff. With another few mouthfuls of blood, Long Fei became weaker. In fact, there were even tears of blood flowing out of his eyes. Blood and tears. Heavens, what just happened? My lord. Everyone was worried. But Long Fei did not say a single word. However, his eyes were like frost as they carried no emotion. If there was one emotion that could describe it, it would be killing intent. A monstrous killing intent. It was hundreds of times more powerful than it had been when it had destroyed the entire million realms of the Big Dipper. Invincible. My son. Long Fei endured the pain in his heart and spoke with a hoarse voice. In that moment before, an extremely terrifying scene suddenly burst out in front of Long Fei's eyes. Moreover, in his heart, he could hear little unravel's cries for help. That voice was pale and powerless. There was endless anticipation and desire. It was as if he was begging. Thus, Long Fei was jolted awake. However, the images did not stop there. He saw his brothers fall one by one. He saw his son gradually losing himself under some kind of power, until the very end, when all the sound had disappeared. Only then did Long Fei's soul violently shake, following which he started to vomit blood from his heart. Let's go, fire with all our strength. Star Demon Realm, all of you better pray that little unraveled is safe and sound. Otherwise, even if I have to overturn this world, I will annihilate your Star Demon Realm and leave not a single blade of grass behind. Long Fei said in a serious tone. The crowd of God of Boundary has also guessed the reason behind Long Fei's anger at this moment. No one dared to say anything. However, the only thing they knew in their hearts was that the sky was falling. Star Demon Realm, in front of the Star Palace. Star Demon Realm, in front of the Star Palace. The people from the Star Demon Realm were all extremely excited, their eyes filled with malevolence. I just found out that the traitor of the 10,000 realms was actually the leader of these people, following the orders of the Great Master. TSK, back then, that traitor was the one who called himself the Yang God Realm. Don't you know about this? You actually dare to boast about attacking my Star Demon Realm. You really don't know whether you're dead or alive. These people were incomparably savage, their eyes cold and sinister. This time, his brothers are hanging in the sky like dogs. The endless star chains are hooked onto them, and every day, they burn their muscles and bones. And it's his son who carries it out. I wonder what his reaction would be when he sees this scene. The people from the Star Demon Realm looked up into the sky and saw that Li Yuanba and the rest were trapped in the middle of the stars. All of them were incomparably weak. Their bodies were riddled with wounds and dripping with blood. Not only that, there were even astral flames that burned unceasingly, bombarding their bodies time and time again. But Li Yuanba and the rest did not say a word. There was not a single scream. In order to be invincible, they could lose their dignity, crawl on the ground, kneel, and bark like dogs. However, he would never beg for his life. This was their last faith. However, in the depths of their eyes, An inexhaustible grief gushed forth. They stared at the demonic spirit in the air, which was unceasingly spitting out astral flames. They were filled with an incomparable hatred. Haha, that's it. Branded this scene with a star stone, and then walked through the void. I don't believe that dog Long Fei won't come. Also, release the image of his brother barking like a dog. Also, the image of that brat being burned by our king has been released. Those women will definitely not be able to hold it in. After our king enjoys it, it will be our plaything. The people from the Star Demon realm laughed, their lustful gazes sweeping across their faces. Very quickly, amidst their laughter, many people from the Star Demon realm spread the starstones one by one. And at this time, in the endless void, a flying ship was swiftly shuttling through space. Stars whizzed past behind him. Long Fei's expression was overcast. Since the last time, her face did not have a smile anymore. Not a single person from the Thousand God Boundary, including Jiang Chuanxiu, spoke up. He didn't dare to do it at all. The aura being emitted from Long Fei's body was too tyrannical and was frighteningly ice-cold. It was as if the killing intent of the stars in the sky had gathered together. Killing intent filled the sky. Even within the aircraft, they could feel waves of coldness. It was as if he was beneath a glacier. The coldness was bone-chilling. Lord, things might not be as bad as you think. Moreover, we have now entered the sphere of influence of the Star Demon realm. We will arrive within the boundaries of the great young world in a short while. At that time, we will stop for a short while, and furthermore, let my great young realm's God a boundary open a passage. We will be able to directly enter the domain of the Star Demon realm. Jiang Chuanxiu braced himself and said, if it wasn't necessary, he would rather be a mute, and also didn't want to face Long Fei at this time. Long Fei nodded. No matter how powerful the flying shuttle was, it definitely wasn't as fast as the spatial passageway. Moreover, Long Fei remembered that there was still one more mission related to the Great Sun Realm. The rewards were also very generous. Thus, it was necessary to stay in the Great Yang world at this time. Furthermore, Long Fei was also clear that her current state was extremely unstable. His state of mind was in chaos. Long Fei also needed to adjust. At this time, Jiang Chuanxiu also heaved a sigh of relief. After obtaining Long Fei's permission, he immediately controlled the flying machine to change the direction. They flew directly toward the Great Sun Realm. Somewhere mountains. The mountains were overlapping, and the stars were towering. An enormous statue towered over the mountain. Stars covered the sky, illuminating the entire mountain. Damn Jiang Chuanxiu, he actually sold out our great young world just like that. It doesn't matter if he dies. We shouldn't implicate our great young world. What is he? He can also represent our great young world. Is he even worthy of swearing on his luck with the world spirit? He's just an elder. If it wasn't for the fact that he has some connections with the goddess of our great sun world, how could he even be fit to lead a group of elders? Beneath the statue, the rest of the great sun realm cultivators were enraged. He was furious. All of them were denouncing Jiang Chuanxiu. It was all rejection. In the middle of the crowd, a person was sitting under a statue. Silence. Hearing the voices of the crowd, a complex look appeared in his eyes. In a trance, this person looked at the sculpture before him, and his face became even more solemn. All of you shut up. In an instant, everyone fell silent. The moment this person spoke, it was an absolute ban, because he was the great sun realm's god of boundary. Don't even mention it, Jiang Chuanxiu. He is just trash who relies on the halo of the goddess. Is it because the Jiang family can rise to prominence in the ancient times because of the goddess? Our favor in return is already enough. Now that Long Fei has been attacked by the 10,000 realms, the Star Demon realm has even grasped on a Long Fei's weak point. They're doomed to lose, and what we need to do now is to distance ourselves from Jiang Chuanxiu as soon as possible. The great sun god of boundary, Zhongshan said. Everyone immediately acknowledged his words. What Lord God of Boundary has said is right. Jiang Chuanxiu is a black sheep. Leaving him alive is a black sheep. Right. let's put aside our relationship. Otherwise, we will also be envied by the Star Demon realm and become enemies of the 10,000 worlds. Bastard, you are practically pushing us, the Star Demon realms, to the abyss. Countless voices appeared, all at the same time. It was at this moment that an aircraft suddenly broke in from the void. Ha ha! Great Sun World, I, Jiang Chunxiu, have finally returned. Immediately after, Jiang Chunxiu's figure flew down from the airship. His face was filled with excitement as he looked at the familiar scene before him, and his heart trembled. Everyone, the chance for our great young world has come. Jiang Chunxiu couldn't wait any longer. He wanted to share his achievements. In his view, he could establish a relationship with Long Fei. This was simply a monstrous opportunity. This was especially so after he had witnessed Long Fei's power. He was even more determined to use this as an opportunity for the great young world to break through the stars. Thus, he wanted to show off right after returning. Oh, opportunity? Tell me, what kind of opportunity is this? No one spoke. Only the great young god of boundaries spoke. However, Jiang Chunxiu was completely unable to perceive the coldness in the great sun god of boundaries' tone and was still full of zest. God of boundaries Zhong, this time, I brought a super strong boss to our great young world. This is a real boss. Awesome. This is way beyond your imagination. Jiang Chunxiu said, with his mouth full of spittle. He was afraid that if he did not display a bit of his strength, it would not be enough to show that he was strong enough to be Long Fei. As soon as the words left his mouth, the people of the Great Sun realm began to laugh. Immediately, Jiang Chunxiu was stunned. No matter how agitated he was, he knew that the current situation was completely different from what he'd imagined. You all, what do you mean by this? Jiang Chunxiu was stunned. He didn't understand the crowd's attitude. Jiang Chunxiu was stunned. He didn't understand the crowd's attitude. This scene had already been filtered out thousands, tens of thousands of times in his mind. Every time, he even thought of how Long Fei would shout out 100 times for the entire Great Sun realm to submit to him. At that time, he would also be the first one to seek refuge with Long Fei. As long as they were able to wipe out the all-world and cleanse the starry sky with their blood. This was the true reshuffle of 10,000 worlds. If their great young world could soar into the skies, it would become one of the top super strong worlds. However, everything that happened before his eyes was completely different from what he imagined. It ran in the opposite direction, completely contrary. No one showed the slightest yearning or excitement. Some of them were just mocking and despising him. What do you mean? Jiang Chunxiu, it seems like your old man is quite talented. I've given you a good name since you were born. You really do like to dream. It's still a spring and autumn dream. Ha! He still doesn't know that he's about to die, yet he's still pretending to be powerful in front of us. He truly doesn't know what it means. Immediately, the people of the Great Sun realm opened their mouths and spoke. His gaze was filled with pity and ridicule, as if he was looking at a clown. The smile on Jiang Chunxiu's face immediately gathered together as his heart sank. Master God of Boundary, is this what you mean as well? Jiang Chunxiu asked. His words were incomparably cold. Jiang Chunxiu, if you can still turn your head right now and abandon the dark and light to stand by our side, we can give you a chance of survival on behalf of the goddess. Otherwise, you will be directly expelled from the Great Yang world. In the future, you will have nothing to do with the Great Yang world. Now, tell this king your choice. The Great Yang god of Boundary pretended to be deep. Jiang Chunxiu's expression darkened in an instant. He knew that the Great Yang god of Boundary had made its decision. Otherwise, these people would absolutely not dare be so arrogant. This was simply an arrogant competition without restraint. In that moment, Jiang Chunxiu's heart was full of bitterness. Chaos. Puff. Suddenly, Jiang Chunxiu spat out a mouthful of blood from his heart, his entire body looking extremely ghastly. Ha ha ha. Your father's heart is wholeheartedly set on the Great Sun world. In the end, this is how you treat Lousy. I'm so F*** king blind. Jiang Chun laughed bitterly as tears streamed down his face. He used all of his effort to act like a slave and follow Long Fei around. All he wanted was a gamble, and not a single one of them had come for the Great Yang World. But in the end, it was the betrayal of his loved ones. The Great Yang World didn't take him seriously at all. He had even been treated as a clown now, wantonly insulting him. Think of all his pains as worthless. What was even more terrifying was that he knew clearly what would happen if he were to reject Long Fei. Long Fei had already wanted to go on a conquest of 10,000 realms and 10,000 lands of the Nine Heavens. Regarding Long Fei's strength, he believed that these were not empty words. As long as Long Fei thought about it, this so-called strong realm of the Nine Heavens and 10 Earth simply wasn't the same thing. Since it was the Nine Heavens and 10 Great Earth, Long Fei would not take it to heart. Which Great Yang World? Not even a fart. It was obvious that the Great Yang World had already made its decision. He directly stood on the side of the Star Demon Realm. Would Long Fei let the Great Sun Realm go? Impossible. Thinking of this, Jiang Chuanqiu's grief and indignation grew. It was also at this time that the great sun god of boundary suddenly spoke. For the Great Yang World? Stop dreaming. In this airship, there must be a traitor that you want to punish. Let me tell you, your end is near. The great sun god of boundary said coldly, her eyes carrying a mysterious smile. Immediately after, the great sun god of boundary moved in her hand, throwing out many star stones. Ha, just you watch. This is the super powerful existence you speak of. Look, what is his brother doing? Awesome. Why didn't you save his brother? The great sun god of boundary laughed crazily, full of ridicule. It was also at this time that Long Fei, who was inside the flying ship, was shocked. With one step, he stepped out of the flying ship. Originally, Long Fei had witnessed everything that had happened in Jiang Chuanqiu. He just didn't want to care about it at all. Long Fei did not care about the Great Sun Realm at all. His mission was to protect the Great Yang World, not to protect these people. Even if all of them were to die, Long Fei would not mind. Even to the extent where Long Fei already had the urge to kill them, sending them off with her own hands. But right now, Long Fei was only concerned about his family and friends, and wasn't in the mood to pay attention to them. However, when the great sun god of boundary, Zhongshan, threw out the stellar stone, Long Fei could no longer remain calm. Crack, crack, crack. Clenching his fists tightly, his eyes opened wide. Star Demon Realm, fuck your ancestors. In just an instant, the anger in Long Fei's heart burst forth. Incomparable rage. All the thoughts disappeared from Long Fei's mind. She only had one thought: slaughter. It was no longer important for him to retreat. Only endless killing would be able to calm the fury in his heart. Shwa shwa shwa. One figure after another exited the aircraft. The Thousand God of Boundary were also fully equipped and ready to go. They were all ready to fight. The great Yang God of Boundary could no longer remain calm. His footsteps were out of control as he retreated. As for those who had mocked and ridiculed Jiang Chuanqiu, all of their faces turned pale. The aura being emitted by Long Fei was simply too terrifying, and just this aura was enough to nearly collapse them. Puff, puff, puff. It was just an instant, but a few people could no longer withstand the killing intent emit from Long Fei's body, and as if they had gone insane, they instantly collapsed onto the ground. A single glance was enough to tell that he had suffered a grievous soul injury. It was a fate worse than death. In fact, if it was not treated in time, there would be no escape for all. At this moment, the loneliness on Jiang Chuanqiu's face had also disappeared. The choice of the great Yang World was already clear. Rather than placing it on their bodies and allowing the great Yang World to continue to sink, it would be better to leave it to him and follow Long Fei to carve a path of blood for them. Without a word, he directly stood behind Long Fei. This was equivalent to him making his own choice. And at this time, Long Fei was still silent. His eyes were fixed on the stellar stone. When he saw his brothers heavily injured, Long Fei's eyes turned red. Seeing Hong Yi being suppressed by the stars and being tortured to the point that his life was worse than death, Long Fei's mind had already become numb. Rumble. The stars that filled the sky began to rumble, also starting to emit from Long Fei's killing intent. At this moment, another piece of the void exploded with a loud bang. The image on top of it was only a dot. He was invincible. It was the scene of little unravel being burned by the endless flames of the stars. At this moment, Long Fei instantly blew up. Ah! My son, Long Fei roared. This scene immediately made Long Fei lose all ability to defend. His brother was all he had. His son was his life. It was worse than taking his life. Thus, in this instant, Long Fei abruptly erupted forth. Kill. Long Fei's figure instantly blurred. Long Fei's figure instantly blurred. The word kill was enough to determine everything. Boom! A long sword immediately appeared in Long Fei's hand, an endless aura of primal chaos surging above it. With a single sword move, he would devour the heavens and the earth and perish into nothingness. Rumble. As the sword slashed down, all living things withered before the great sun realm. Countless people from the great Yang world were killed by Long Fei. In the blink of an eye, the entire great Yang world was transformed into a sea of blood. The great sun god of Boundary's face was extremely ugly. More importantly, he was afraid. His face was extremely gloomy. Go up for me. I'll open the spatial passageway right now. As long as I transmit the news to the Star Demon Realm, there will be experts who will come when the time comes. They can't escape. The great Yang god of Boundary said, pretending to be calm. It seemed to be extremely stable, but in reality, it was a flustered comparison. Under his orders, people from the great sun world stepped out. Panic was written all over his face. Extreme unwillingness. However, there was no other way. They were people of the great Yang world, and the words of the god of Boundary were simply orders. Otherwise, it would also be difficult to escape death. Long Fei, stop struggling so much. Our Lord God of Boundary has already opened the spatial tunnel, and at that time, the powerhouse of the Star Demon Realm will descend. If I were you, I would run right now. I can live for a few more days. Right. I advise you to surrender as soon as possible. You are not a match for the Star Demon Realm at all. The Great Sun Realm, disciple said. Words assaulted the heart. Naturally, they could also tell that Long Fei's condition wasn't right, and they were extremely crazed. Therefore, he wanted Long Fei to be completely lost. In the air, the Thousand God of Boundary also had a face full of worry. Master, what's wrong? It can't be that I have a chi deviation. Fire attacks the heart. Extreme anger. I feel that the Lord has already gone berserk and won't be able to hear any of the sounds he makes. Then what should we do? Wouldn't that be very dangerous? If the people from the Star Demon Realm truly came. Several people said worriedly, no need. Right now, my lord has yet to go berserk. He's already decided to kill. Only by killing can you quell the anger of an adult. Jiang Chuanxiu said. It was as if he had transformed into a different person, incomparably calm and tranquil. Compared to before, it was like a completely different person. The crowd of God of Boundary looked at each other and knew that such a change in Jiang Chuanxiu was not out of the ordinary. Because being abandoned by a whole world, if he still could not make any changes, then this kind of person was not worthy to follow Long Fei. However, they still maintained their suspicion towards Jiang Chuanxiu's words, as they all looked at Long Fei with their eyes. As long as there was even the slightest bit of inconvenience from Long Fei, they would immediately make their move. At this time, Long Fei's scarlet eyes directly looked at the Great Sun Realm person in the sky. Struggling? Died? Star Demon Realm? Ha! The ones who deserve to die are you too. An arrogant and hypocritical fellow who thinks himself to be above all others. Die! Long Fei's killing intense soared as he felt extreme pain and hatred. The three words Star Demon Realm became a blade in Long Fei's heart. He felt as if he had a lump in his throat. This was already a death grudge. So much so that even this kind of hatred existed when compared to the Emperor Xian back then. Had already tossed all of this to the back of his mind. What he wanted to do was to Flipstar Demon Realm. He had completely wiped out everything in front of him. Swish! Long Fei slashed out again. The sword's killing intent overflowed into the heavens. The faces of the people from the Great Sun world changed drastically. No, run. This strike is definitely not one that we can defend against. He has already gone berserk. Quick, run. The moment the sword light appeared, these people were immediately scared out of their wits. He turned around and was about to escape, but it was too late. Long Fei, in this state, would definitely kill. The sword was now filled with rage, and the sword pierced through the heavens to kill. This sword strike carried the anger in Long Fei's heart and inherited the hatred in Long Fei's heart. Only killing could make Long Fei feel a little at peace. Boom! The slaughter of the sword had been carried out without the slightest surprise. And Long Fei's footsteps did not pause at all as he continued forward step by step. With every step, hundreds of thousands of people were killed. In the blink of an eye, the entire Great Sun realm had been massacred. At this moment, the people of the Great Sun realm finally realized just how strong Long Fei was. Especially the Great Yang world's powerhouse who had participated in slandering Jiang Chunqiu under the deity statue earlier. He felt even more regretful. Spring and autumn, you and the goddess have a relationship. The goddess looked down upon you from the past, killing her way out. Could it be that you have the heart to bear watching her painstakingly walk out and kill all of our Great Yang world? That's right. Spring and autumn quickly begged the adults. We know we're in the wrong. As long as you ask for it, our Great Yang world will be your most loyal slave. Suddenly, a few people spoke up. There was hope and indifference in his eyes. It was as if Jiang Chunqiu would agree to their request at this time. As for Long Fei, the only remaining reason he had left was also enough to cause his movements to falter. Long Fei turned around and looked at Jiang Chunqiu. However, Jiang Chunqiu acted as if he hadn't heard him and ridiculed him with the corners of his mouth. One breath, two breaths. After 3 breaths of time, Jiang Chunqiu still hadn't spoken. As for Long Fei, his eyes also revealed a little ridicule, and a voice that was almost hoarse, as though pig iron was rubbing against it, came out from his throat. It seems that you are the ones who should be abandoned. Initially, you all had the chance to enjoy the glory under the starry sky. However, death is your home now. Long Fei was very satisfied in his heart. There were some lines that could not be touched. The people of the Great Sun realm had obviously touched the reverse scale in Long Fei's heart. They must die. If Jiang Chunqiu spoke, Long Fei would stop. However, in the future, it would no longer have anything to do with the Great Sun realm. Even if it was for the mission, Long Fei would at most protect the Great Sun realm. But now, Jiang Chunqiu had made his choice and completely ignored it. This choice made Long Fei extremely satisfied. In that moment, Long Fei made his move once again. Like a killing machine, Death God. In the blink of an eye, the entire Great Yang world burst out with one miserable shriek after another. The entire city was destroyed, and the entire process did not even take longer than the time it took to breathe. But Long Fei's footsteps did not stop at all, and he walked over step by step, because the Great Yang God of Boundary was right in front of them. At this time, the Great Yang God of Boundary had a face full of panic and could no longer suppress the fear in his heart. Open it. Open it for me. Space passageway. Open. Oh, hurry and open it. The Great Yang God of Boundary screamed loudly, his eyes filled with panic. It wasn't a pity for him to sacrifice a powerhouse from one of the realms. As long as he could escape, then in the future, the Great Yang world would still be the Great Yang world. However, he had never expected that Long Fei's strength had long ago exceeded his knowledge. These people could not stop Long Fei at all. More people? To him, this was simply a joke. Run. Aren't the people from the Star Demon realm coming? Am I still waiting here? Just open it. Long Fei said. He was extremely gloomy. The overflowing killing intent gathered on Long Fei's body, and within his eyes, he looked like a pair of sharp blades. The overflowing killing intent gathered on Long Fei's body, and within his eyes, he looked like a pair of sharp blades. And the great sun god of boundary, at this moment, had also stopped moving its hands. It was simply unable to withstand the pressure of Long Fei's aura. No, don't kill me, Long Fei. I was wrong. I am just a dog. Spring and autumn, I beg you, open your mouth and beg Lord Long Fei. I don't want to die. I can give you the position of the god of boundary. As long as you open your mouth, the Lord will let me go. The great young god of boundary begged for mercy crazily, without any dignity for powerhouse. God of boundary, it was simply a fart. Everything had been said in stone the moment he decided to stand opposite of Long Fei. There was no way out for him. But at this moment, Jiang Chunqiu still didn't have the slightest reaction. There was not the slightest ripple. He didn't listen to a single word of Zhongshan's. Zhongshan was greatly disappointed. Clenching his teeth, he looked at Long Fei with extreme unwillingness, then at the spatial passageway that had already been sealed. His face was ashen. Don't force me, don't force me. Zhongshan gritted his teeth and said bitterly, Force you? Zhongshan, do you still not understand? All of this is your own fault. Originally, my great sun world would have had another scene, but all of this ended up in your hands. You will never know how powerful an adult is. At this time, Jiang Chunqiu said with a cold expression, he never would have thought that the thing that would enrage Long Fei would actually be his own world. However, there was no turning back the tide. Long Fei's blood was even stimulated. It could be seen that the severity of the matter was beyond his imagination. At this time, Zhongshan still dared to come out and provoke him. He was simply courting death. If it was just a simple choice, she would even plead for Long Fei to let the people of the great Yang world go. But now, Zhongshan was courting death by using Long Fei's brothers and sons to provoke him. This was pure suicide. He was always provoking others on the verge of death. There was no room for negotiation at all. I already told you, don't force me. But at this moment, Jiang Chunqiu suddenly shouted loudly, Long Fei, you think you're awesome? To tell you the truth, the Star Demon Realm has already laid down a life and death array. In the end, he's just a trash who can't even protect his own brothers and sons. He can only act arrogantly in front of us. You're really awesome. If you have the guts, go to the Star Demon Realm. If you have the guts, I'll watch you destroy the Star Demon Realm. If you can do it, I'll take off your head and use it as your chamber pot. Zhongshan said angrily. It was as if nothing mattered anymore, as if life and death were already at stake. It was like using one's life to imitate something, all sorts of ways to seek one's own death. Long Fei's scarlet eyes also turned slightly at this moment. He looked towards Zhongshan. Boom! Asterisk, a boundless killing intent soared to the sky like a deathly gaze. Zhongshan's body sank, directly kneeling in the air. Crack! 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 The bones of Zhongshan's entire body began to crack irreversibly. Force you? With such a powerful existence like you, is there a need to force yourself? If I want to kill you, it would be a waste to even try. Long Fei said coldly. After he finished speaking, the killing intent all over Long Fei's body condensed into a single point. As he strolled in the air, waves after waves of killing intent moved rhythmically, like waves in the deep sea, annihilating the void. Rumble. With a flash of killing intent, Zhongshan's body once again sunk to the bottom, almost prostrate. Endless humility. Long Fei, you're going too far. You forced me. If that's the case, then don't think about anyone else. Power of the goddess, explode. Zhongshan was endlessly humiliated. A vicious expression flashed across his angry face as he suddenly shouted. And it was also at this moment that 30,000 meters of profound light suddenly exploded out of his chest. Long Fei slightly paused. Not good, my lord. This dog thief used his own life force to summon the power of the goddess. Jiang Chunqiu suddenly shouted loudly at this moment. It was as if the power of this goddess was extremely terrifying. Long Fei squinted, turned his hands, and suddenly shot towards the great Yang world's goddess. This was because the power of the goddess came from this. And at the moment when Long Fei made his move, the goddess statue also started to crack inch by inch. Then, an endless divine light sprinkled down. It illuminated the empty space. Rumble. The statue exploded, and all of Zhongshan's strength was absorbed. The entire statue became more and more like a shadow formed from energy. The world was independent and incomparably glorious. But Long Fei would never stop. So what if she was beautiful? Even if it was the goddess of the starry sky, would not be moved by the peerless heavens and earth. If anyone tried to stop him, he would be the enemy. Boom! A punch blasted out, an incomparably vast killing intent, like a blade, directly slicing through space. At this moment, the goddess also suddenly struck out. Rumble, rumble, bang, 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 bang. Long Fei's figure also instantly submerged within this berserk energy, and the entire space seemed to explode unceasingly. Ha ha, die awesome. No matter how amazing he is. So what if I use the power of the god of boundary? I'm still alive and well. You will eventually die under the power of the goddess. The great sun god of boundary laughed. Incomparable savagery and madness. In the distant sky, Jiang Chunxiu had a worried expression. 1,000 god of boundaries were unable to restrain the worry in their hearts, and all of them gathered together. What's going on? What power is this? Why is it so violent? Lord Lien, no one dared to speculate as worry filled their faces. This is the power of my great sun realm's goddess, a power that she left behind for the great sun realm to protect themselves with. It's incredibly powerful. Rumor has it that this power is comparable to the noble realm's invincible powerhouse. Sir, Jiang Chunxiu wanted to say something, but hesitated. His eyes were glued to the center of the explosion of power. With that said, all the god of boundary became worried. Haha, don't be delusional. He's dead for sure. This power of the goddess, even the god of boundary of the 10 great earth realms couldn't withstand it. One Long Fei. It's nothing. Huh. The great Yang god of boundary laughed crazily. But right at this moment, the door to the spatial passageway suddenly swung open. Joy appeared in the great sun god of boundary's eyes, and it became even more berserk. Haha, the spatial passageway has opened. Your father has won. Ah, I never would have thought that a traitor would die in my hands. From now on, Laozi is the overlord of the super powerful world. Jiang Chunxiu, did you see that? I am the overlord. The great Yang god of boundary laughed crazily. It was as if everything was within his calculations. Immediately afterwards, the great Yang god of boundary took a step forward and was about to enter the spatial passageway. However, a cold voice suddenly sounded. You're celebrating too early? This power isn't bad, but it's nothing more than that. As for you, you've always been a clown in my eyes. Now, after the performance, you could die too. Long Fei's voice shook the void. He took one step at a time out of the center of the savagery, then slashed out with his sword and shattered the entire spatial passageway. As for the great Yang god of boundary, it was directly beheaded under this sword attack. One slash. The great sun god of boundary's head was immediately sliced off by Long Fei's sword, and its corpse instantly dismembered. No! The head of the great sun god of boundary let out a cry of unwillingness while carrying its last bit of consciousness. Even to the point of death, he could not understand why the goddess strength could even contend against the noble realm's invincible powerhouse, but was unable to do anything to Long Fei. It was so much so that even Long Fei's skin was not damaged at all. However, he didn't have the chance to find an answer at all. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing 624 cultivators of the Great Yang world. You have accumulated 8 billion experience points. Holy source points 8400000. Striking value 624 points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Great Sun God of Boundary. You have received 120,000 points of experience, 12 million points of Holy Source, and 1 point of striking value. Ding! Congratulations, player. You have obtained a Star Demon Channel token. Nothing else. But it was also within Long Fei's expectations. These people were nothing. To be able to give so much experience was beyond his expectations. The experience gained from the Great Sun God of Boundary, in particular, was enough to shock Long Fei. One must know that back then in the 10,000 Beast world, there were more than 10,000 God of Boundary S in the 10,000 Big Dipper realm, and the S only gave 200 billion experience. But now, a Great Sun God of Boundary was given 100 million experience. Something's off. Long Fei was startled. He hesitated slightly. Although the Great Yang God of Boundary was very strong, it definitely contained some kind of power that he did not know about. Otherwise, based on the system's rules, it would definitely not give him this much experience. Thinking about it, Long Fei did not hesitate at all and immediately went berserk. And at this time, the striking value had also been completely emptied at once. At the same time, the system's voice also appeared. Ding! Congratulations, player, on obtaining goddess power. Long Fei made up his mind. The power of the goddess? Then he exchanged blows with the figure that walked out of the goddess statue earlier. In time, even Long Fei felt that the previous wave of strength was abnormal. Even his physical body could be shaken. If not for the increase in his cultivation level, his physical body would have been unable to withstand the force. From this, it could be seen that this power was extremely terrifying. Thinking about it, Long Fei immediately checked the strength attribute. The power of the goddess. After civilization, the number 1 person in the Great Yang world will appear. His strength is monstrous, and he managed to bring about prosperity in the Great Yang world. This power is equivalent to 30% of the goddess strength. At the same time, it is also the symbol of the Great Sun Realm's God of Boundary. Long Fei was stunned. Zhang Xian pondered over the matter. Damn, this is awesome. To have such power with only 30% of my strength. If I were to meet the goddess, wouldn't that mean that I am no match for her? Long Fei was extremely shocked in his heart. The higher the cultivation, the greater the gap. Not to mention a few percent, even just a tiny bit of strength was enough to decide life and death. He could not help but feel some anticipation towards this goddess. He had a feeling that one day he and this goddess would meet again. However, this power was useless against him. At this stage, he relied on the strength of his physical body and the power of the system. His clone hadn't returned, and he couldn't absorb or refine the power. On the contrary, giving it to Jiang Chunxiu was the most suitable. Jiang Chunxiu, you did well this time. You didn't disappoint me. Long Fei said. Saying this, he threw the power of the goddess into Jiang Chunxiu's hands. Now that the Great Yang world has been massacred, I believe that you can control the remaining people with your power. Now, this goddess power is bestowed upon you. After today, you will be the Great Yang world's God of Boundary. Long Fei said casually. He was calm and composed. With a single sentence, he was directly bestowed the title of king. Jiang Chunxiu was extremely excited, his eyes filled with boundless gratitude. Both of his hands seemed to be trembling as he looked at Long Fei and nodded heavily. My lord, Jiang Chunxiu's eyes filled with tears. Originally, he thought Long Fei would scold him or even vent out his anger for the actions of the Great Yang God of Boundary and the others. However, he never expected that it would actually happen. On the contrary, it allowed him to become the king of a world. This change made Jiang Chunxiu feel as if he was a new life, and he was even more grateful to Long Fei in his heart. Long Fei's expression instantly froze, and he quickly said, "Don't be hypocritical, or else your father will go back on his word and leave you alone in this Great Yang world." In an instant, Jiang Chunxiu's expression changed, and he became completely solemn. At this time, Long Fei's gaze also looked towards the distant spatial passageway. The spatial passageway had already been opened, but half of it had been destroyed by his sword just now. Right now, The spatial passageway is already carrying so many people. Long Fei said, his gaze sweeping across everyone. All of the god of boundary were startled. They looked at each other, then exploded into a ball as if they were fighting for the lead. Lord, let me follow you. That's right, my lord. The people of the Star Demon realm are so arrogant. They're simply devoid of conscience. I will definitely kill them. These people are the bloodthirsty insects of the universe. My world has been eaten by them for 10,000 years. This time, I will make them pay with their blood. One after another, they desperately rushed to the front, afraid that Long Fei would abandon them. Long Fei took a deep breath, and his gaze locked onto Wang Yun. He sighed heavily. There's no need. Just follow me, Wang Yun and Jiang Chunxiu. All of you, ride on the airship and go to the Supreme Realm to hide. Once I finish dealing with the Star Demon Realm, we'll destroy it together. Long Fei said with an incomparably firm look. Many of the god of boundary were startled as disappointment filled their eyes. There were even some who wanted to say something but hesitated, wanting to fight with Long Fei. However, Long Fei completely ignored them and stepped into the spatial passageway for the Star Demon Realm. Wang Yun and Jiang Chunxiu did not dare to stay either as they followed him excitedly. Only the god of boundary remained side. Hey, they got lucky this time. There's nothing we can do. Since the Lord has given the order, there's nothing we can do. But that's fine too. Let's go to the noble world now and scout out the way for Sire. As everyone talked, one figure after another rose into the air and entered the aircraft. At this time, 1,000,000 miles away from the great Yang world. A few figures stopped. It was Lu Luoxi and the rest. How is it? Can you deduce their current situation? Lu Luoxi's face was haggard and listless. They were all worried. She was asking about Euro. At this time, Euro was using the power of the sky evolution, isolating 1,000,000 miles of space and time, tried to evolve the current situation in the Star Demon realm. Boom! Asterisk, but right at this moment, the power in her hands suddenly stopped, and in an instant, her body was struck by a ray of starlight descending from the sky, causing her to fly backwards. Puff! Euro spat out a mouthful of blood. Her face was extremely pale, but she still clenched her teeth and said, I can't see it. The power of the Star Demon realm is too strong, and there are also countless star powers revolving around it. My power can't even touch them. Moreover, I can feel that a terrifying formation is currently forming outside of the Star Demon realm. It's like they want to catch a turtle in a jar. Yu was extremely weak, and when she said these words, her eyes were filled with horror. Yu was extremely weak, and when she said these words, her eyes were filled with horror. Hong Yi frowned and looked at them with a serious expression. It seems that this time's situation is much more serious than we thought. Hong Yi said, this time, they originally wanted to charge into the Star Demon realm regardless of everything else. However, they were clear that if they were captured, then all hope would be lost. Therefore, they could only proceed step by step, being even more cautious. They still had to wait for Long Fei and save him. Then they definitely could not make any mistakes. It looks like the other party came prepared. However, why do I feel like the enemy has such a large force? It's as if they're not going to deal with us. Oya suddenly said. At this moment, Aoyu was extremely calm. Even though Vajra and a few of the great emperor's legacies and even little unrivaled super hottie had met with mishaps. However, because she trained in the insight into sword method, Aoya's mind remained extremely calm. Except when facing Long Fei, he would lose all sense of reason. At other times, he would try to find out more about them. When these words were spoken, Lu Luoxi and Hong Qiu's expressions changed. Oya is right. They are very strong. If it was just to deal with us, it would not be such a big deal to set up a net like this. We can't even deduce the strength of Euro, and she even directly rebounded back. It can be seen that this time, the opponent is serious. So, it's very possible that they're going to deal with someone else. Hong Yi calmed down and said along with Aoya's train of thoughts. As soon as she finished speaking, everyone's eyes focused and instantly locked on each other. It's my husband. It's Big Brother Long Fei. A look of pleasant surprise appeared on their faces. There's no mistake. The other party must be targeting my husband, and only my husband would have a kind of threat to make them go all out. Lu Luoshi said. They already knew that Long Fei had stirred up the storm in the starry sky. The 10,000 Worlds Crusade had made them aware of this. Therefore, when they saw the strong array formation that the Star Demon Realm had set up, they had already guessed that the other party was going to deal with Long Fei. No, since the other party has already acted, then the husband must already know what happened to little Unrivaled and the others. According to my husband's personality, he would have already rushed over without a care for anything else. If this happens, I might encounter some danger, Lu Luoshi said. She understood Long Fei too well. In Long Fei's world, the existence of her and the others were above everything else. Even Long Fei's own life was not more important than theirs. In the blink of an eye, the expressions on their faces became even more panicked. Since that's the case, there's no other way. We have to go to the Star Demon Realm, even if we don't want to. Moreover, it is necessary to inform the husband in time before he reaches it. Yuro said. Everyone nodded. At this time, Lilia also came over and said in her childish voice, Sisters, why don't I go first? They don't recognize me at all, and when I arrive at the Star Demon Realm, I can use the power of longevity to steal from the heavens and change the sun, reverse space and time, and guide you guys over. Lilia said. He had a resolute expression on his face. The girls were stunned and immediately objected. No, it's too dangerous to let you go alone. Something has already happened to them. This time, we absolutely cannot let even the slightest accident happen to you, Lu Luoshi said with a firm tone. But at this time, Hong Xia suddenly said, Little Yai going alone is indeed out of the question. Because, without me, she wouldn't even be able to enter the Star Demon Realm. That's why I'm going with little sister. Hong Yi said. Lu Luoshi opened his mouth to stop them, but Hong Xiaoyi cut him off. Sister Lu, now is not the time to be naughty. The more we delay, the more danger they face, and even Big Brother Long Fei might be in danger. There's no time to think about it. Big Sister Yuro, you take a good rest first. After all, we will be in cahoots with the little brat inside and out, secretly leading Chun Song into the Star Demon world. Hong Yi said. After saying that, he took a step forward and directly channeled the power of his god of boundary into the other shore. The other shore that had lost all of its power had regained some of its strength under Hong Qiuya's influence. She then took Xiaoyume away. Only Lu Luoshi and the other two remained as they watched them leave with infinite worry. At the same time, all the superpower house of the 9 heavens and 10 earth had gathered together in the Star Demon Realm. This time, the Myriad Worlds Alliance was truly at a stalemate. Of course, other than the Phoenix Realm and the Noble World, there were also the people from the Big Dipper Realm. The remaining few worlds all rushed into the Star Demon Realm together, because right now, to them, it was also a turning point in their fate. Whoever could kill Long Fei, their world would stand out, and they wouldn't even need to participate in the struggle for power in the God of Boundary. Who would want to miss such a good opportunity? Therefore, they simply could not tolerate the Star Demon Realm wanting to eat the poisonous grass. Inside the Star Palace, the Star Demon, God of Boundary, had an unfriendly expression as he looked at the 6 people in front of him without saying a word. These 6 people were the super powerhouse of the Divine Realm, the Immortal World, the Ascending Dust Realm, the Heaven Origin Sector, the Rampage Realm, and the Raging Infernal Sea Realm. Naturally, they were not God of Boundary, yes. After all, these God of Boundary were all arrogant people. The Star Demon God of Boundary. My lord has said it before. This time, since it's Master Zhou's order, we cannot get the Star Demon Realm to contribute. Yes, that's what my master meant as well. Moreover, my master also said so. This Long Fei is a hard nut to crack. Even the 10,000 Beast world was destroyed, and the God of Boundary of the Big Dipper 10,000 worlds was no match for him. I'm afraid that it will be difficult for the Star Demon realm to resist them. So let us help you. This should be the case. How can we let the entire Star Demon realm come out? Otherwise, we would be too ashamed and have no face to stand up in the 10,000 worlds. My master, my master. The six of them said this in an unfriendly manner. They had long since noticed that the Star Demon realm wanted to monopolize Long Fei. It was also because of this that even in the face of the Star Demon God of Boundary, they did not have much respect for it. At this time, the Star Demon, God of Boundary, had a face full of frost. Immediately, he looked at them. Ha ha, what a joke. Your master is nothing. Stealing from me? Are they even worthy of that name? The Star Demon God of Boundary said coldly. Instantly, the aura of the Star Demon God of Boundary shook. Endless amounts of starlight blasted in from the void, illuminating the entire astral palace. As for the stellar palace, it seemed as though they had been triggered by some sort of power. Numerous streams of power appeared, binding the six of them. Even you bunch of trash dare to speak to me like that. I'm afraid you've forgotten who you are. Why don't you take a look at your status? Star Demon God of Boundary's tone was dark and filled with disdain. Now, either scram for me or obediently stay here and watch how your father captures the thief. The void rippled. The void rippled. In the endless void, a black hole suddenly took shape. It was like a space wormhole suddenly appearing out of nowhere. Shwa shwa shwa. Three figures suddenly appeared. It was Long Fei and the other two. Here, is it the sphere of influence of the Star Demon realm? Long Fei was startled, with a face full of suspicion. The existence here was completely different from what Long Fei had imagined. Without the Stellar Palace, without the people from the Star Demon realm, and without the brothers that he missed in his heart, it was like he was on the wrong set. It didn't even exist. This place was simply a void. Not even a single star could be seen here. Even if it was Long Fei, the only world that he could see with his naked eyes was a world the size of Star on Earth. It was terrifyingly far away. My lord, I'm afraid something went wrong with the teleportation between us. Here, it shouldn't be the Star Demon realm, Jiang Chunqiu said with a perturbed expression. He was too clear about Long Fei's feelings. Even if he was to delay them by one more minute, it would be a form of torture to Long Fei. But now, something had gone wrong with the teleportation. How could they possibly stay calm? Damn it, why did something go wrong with the spatial passageway? There's no problem with the operation at all. Why is this happening? Long Fei blamed himself. He hadn't expected this sort of thing. A moment ago, he had been fantasizing that when he reached the Star Demon world, he would definitely tear the Star Demon God of Boundary into 8 pieces and turn the whole Star Demon realm upside down. But now, everything was in vain. If he couldn't even find the direction of the Star Demon realm, what else could he do? In that moment, the flames of anger started to rise from Long Fei's body. It was also at this time that Wang Yun suddenly spoke up from the side. Lord, I seem to know this place. This should be the meteorite realm. Long Fei was startled. Meteorite realm? The difference between each word was like the difference between the Star Demon and meteor, but it was at least 10,000 miles apart. The Star Demon realm was a super strong realm with countless powerhouse. However, the meteorite realm was only a small world under the 10,000 beast world. Even the 10,000 beast world had been turned upside down by Long Fei, so the meteorite realm was even less worthy of mention. Ding! Congratulations, player, for triggering System Quest, refining the meteor realm, and obtaining star power. Time of mission, 3 days. Task reward, crossing worlds at will. But right at that moment, the system's voice suddenly rang out. F***CK, your grandpa. System, are you F***King playing me to death? Long Fei almost roared in his heart. The moment the system's voice appeared, Long Fei immediately had an answer in his heart. He had no doubt that the failure of this spatial travel to directly jump into this nebula world was the system's doing. Otherwise, what kind of power could be so powerful that it would cause the spatial passageway to become a mess without anyone knowing? However, No matter how furious Long Fei was, the system did not reply him. Long Fei's aura also gradually stabilized as she raised her head to look at Wang Yun. "Let's go," Long Fei said with surging killing intent in his scarlet eyes. At this moment, he had no choice but to use the meteor shower. "My lord, what are we going to do?" Wang Yun and Jiang Chunxiu were stunned. This place was extremely far from the Star Demon Realm. If he wanted to rush to the Star Demon Realm, he would have to transfer them again. But if that was the case, it would take too long. By the time they reached the city again, even the yellow flowers would have turned cold. Initially, they were worried that Long Fei would suffer some sort of attack, but they never thought that he would return so quickly. At the same time, their expressions were filled with joy as they thought that Long Fei had found a way to go back. The Lord is indeed the Lord. He found the solution so quickly. Awesome. If he's an adult, then he's awesome, Jiang Chunxiu and Wang Yin said. Wang Yin did not like to talk much, nor did he like to flatter others. However, he still continued speaking. But in the next moment, Long Fei's words directly extinguished their hope. "I have no choice," Long Fei said, pointing his hand. He continued, "However, it's enough as long as we destroy this world," Long Fei said coldly, his killing intent raging wildly. Behind him, Jiang Chunxiu and Wang Yun were shocked. He looked at Long Fei with disbelief. However, Long Fei didn't explain anything at all. He took a step forward and directly headed in the direction of the meteorite realm. Jiang Chunxiu and Wang Yun looked at each other, feeling extremely astonished in their hearts. However, since Long Fei had already said so, even if they had any doubts in their hearts, they did not dare to hesitate in the slightest. They immediately followed behind Long Fei as they swept over in an instant. At this time, what Long Fei did not know was that there was a figure crazily shuttling through the void. His goal was to find his existence. It was the god of boundary of the Big Dipper. Not here. Before, I clearly sensed through the power of the Big Dipper that this kid had come to the Great Yang world. A spatial passageway? That's not right. There's been some chaos in this spatial passageway as well. It hasn't been sent to the Star Demon world yet. The face of the god of boundary of the Big Dipper was dark and doubtful. The 7 beams of light in his hand flickered. However, if one were to look closely, they were actually small people. They were fusing the energies together in an extremely strange manner. Suddenly, the 7 energies combined into one. Immediately after, an image appeared in front of the god of boundary. It was a ruined world. This kind of trashy world? Why did Long Fei go to this kind of trash world? Does he not want to save his brothers and son? The hesitation on Big Dipper's face became even stronger. However, immediately after, the face of the god of boundary of the Big Dipper exploded with joy, as if it had thought of something. "Ah, here it is. That must be it." It must be because Long Fei knew that he wasn't his opponent and wanted to find the power that the ancient world had left behind before he went looking for civilization. No wonder we haven't been able to find that mysterious power, even after such a long time had passed. So it's actually in this broken world. TSK, you bunch of idiots are waiting for others in the Star Demon world to fall into their trap. But who would have thought that right now it would become my food? The god of boundary was overjoyed and laughed maniacally. Immediately after, the power in his hand moved again, directly pulling out a door from the void and instantly entering. The scene turned back to Long Fei. At this time, Long Fei had already descended above the meteor realm. "Lord, this is the meteor world. However, why is it different from what I remember?" Wang Yin suddenly said. What's different?" Long Fei asked. He had killed quite a few people in the meteor world, and even the strength of his physical body could be increased through the use of the astral energy. Therefore, Long Fei had a deep impression of this world. "My lord, previously, when we went to the Thousand Demon world, this meteor realm wasn't that stable. However, in just a few days, this world has already far surpassed that of ordinary small worlds. It's as if something has changed. It's too weird." Wang Yun, he said in all seriousness. Long Fei slightly paused for a moment, but very quickly his eyes focused once again. Don't even think about it, no matter how mysterious this world is. It is impossible to change your father's mind. I only have one goal, and that is to destroy the meteorite realm. Longfei said. The meteor world was in a state of despair. The meteor world was in a state of despair. The entire surface was uneven, as if it had been struck by a meteorite. In fact, there wasn't even a single intact place in the entire meteor world. So. Long Fei descended. The moment the three of them stopped, a strong sense of discomfort overwhelmed their hearts. Even Long Fei's face showed a hint of fear. Meteorite world? How could there be any survivors here? It was clearly a land of death. Wang Yun was astonished. The expression on his face was extremely boastful. He did not believe what he had seen. It was the same for Jiang Chunxiu. The scene in front of him gave him an incomparably strange feeling. This was a place of death. The entire world seemed to have been annihilated by the stars. There were deep pits created when the stars fell everywhere. There was an aura of annihilation everywhere, and the destructive power of decay wreaked havoc everywhere. In this sort of environment, not to mention humans, even deities couldn't exist. The most crucial point was that this kind of power was simply impossible to cultivate. Thus, it was impossible for the meteorite world to exist in such a world. My lord, could there be a mistake? How can there be any living beings in such an environment? Jiang Chunxiu asked tentatively. Long Fei also became silent. She spread out her consciousness and started to explore the world. In his heart, he too was astonished. Even with the strength of his fleshly body, he felt a little uncomfortable under this aura. Moreover, he had also killed people from the meteor world. Their strength was not strong at all. How could the people of the meteor world withstand the power that even he felt? Impossible. However, he couldn't explain it in front of him. The environment in this world was too harsh. However, since the system had activated such a mission, it meant that there must still be more creatures above the meteorite realm. There's no mistake. It's just that we might have overlooked something. We can't possibly know what secrets this meteor world has. Long Fei said. He pondered for a moment. Immediately after, Long Fei punched out. It directly smashed into a crater. Rumble. Instantly, the rubble flew into the air. Whiz. At the same time, a burst of power erupted from the crater. Swish. Like a shooting star. In an instant, it broke through the deep pit of the meteorite and flew up into the sky, heading straight for Long Fei. Subdue. Long Fei's expression did not change as a sharp light flashed through his eyes. Then, with a casual wave of his hand, he grabbed the power. Poochie. A strand of the power of the stars contained supreme power, as though it contained the power of the star's origin, wanting to struggle out from Long Fei's hands. You're already dead, and you still want to struggle? Impossible! Let me refine this body of the era. He shouted loudly. Long Fei's body exploded out. A blood-red mist burst out from his body and directly submerged the power of the stars. Sigh. Asterisk, sigh. Asterisk in the blink of an eye. Countless sparks appeared on the surface of the astral energy, releasing an incomparably scorching aura. Only to Long Fei, this power was completely useless. Long Fei's body could even withstand the power of the goddess. It was merely a star fire, not even a fart. Boom! It was also at this time that the power of blood and vitality on Long Fei's body moved, and the entire power of the stars was instantly engulfed, directly being devoured by Long Fei's physical strength. Ding! Congratulations, players. Physical body level experience +1. The system's voice appeared. Long Fei did not feel surprised. After all, the system had already said that he would refine the power of the stars. Thus, it was within his expectations. Following that, Long Fei's gaze fell upon the meteorite crater. After Long Fei threw a punch, a dark and deep hole that was difficult to see with the naked eye appeared below him. The bottom couldn't be seen. It was just like the abyss where the 10,000 beast world was located before. Not only that, this aura was even more direct. He could even feel a strong force bursting out from it. Damn this. I never thought that there would be such a place under the meteorite realm. Wang Yun and Jiang Chunqiu said in shock. Looking at the majestic aura in the deep pit, his face became incomparably excited. It was as if he had discovered a new continent. Yes, the new world. Everyone knew that in the 9 heavens and 10 realms, there was an abyss in every world. It suppressed the secrets of civilization. This concerned the ancient world. However, there were no other records or descriptions of such an existence. It could be said that it existed in other places as well. But now, after Long Fei's punch had broken through the meteorite crater, it actually directly caused a place that overflowed the heavens to appear. I was wondering why I felt that there had been a great change in the meteor world just now. It was actually an imperceptible transformation. Wang Yun said, looking deep in thought. But what about the people from the meteor world? No way, Jiang Chunqiu said, with an extremely surprised expression. He thought of one possibility, and that was whether the meteor world had already discovered this place, or perhaps it was even located in this abyss. Why not? They're down there, Long Fei suddenly said. The moment this aura appeared, Long Fei had already felt that this incomparably deep darkness was filled with many different auras. He was no different from the people he had seen in the meteor world. Therefore, Long Fei was able to directly conclude it. The people of the meteorite world must be in this abyss. Thinking about it, Long Fei made his decision without hesitation. Let's go. With a single sentence, Long Fei leaped into it. Wang Yun and Jiang Chunqiu were the same as well. They already felt boundless reverence for this mysterious land. If it wasn't for the 9 heavens and 10 earth being too domineering, they would have long since wanted to get to the bottom of this. But now, they were faced with a new secret related to the pre-civilization era. How could they miss it? So. Without any explanation, the two of them also disappeared. At this time, in an endless dark world, in a palace built from countless fallen stars, one figure after another flew out. Someone broke into my meteor realm. Just who is so bold? Is he trying to kill himself? Is our world something they can come to? We don't need to do anything. Merely this power is enough to take their lives. Exactly, this aura, other than us from the meteorite world, no one else can withstand it. Come. Let us witness a great play. Who is it to be so awesome that he would even throw away his life? Countless voices rang out, calm and indifferent, incomparably confident. It was as if they had unparalleled confidence in their world, believing that no one else in this world could endure it other than them. In fact, there were even some people who were trying to spread the news, hoping for more people to come out. It was as if he was waiting for a good show to unfold. Bang, bang. At the same time, 2 figures heavily fell from the sky. It was as if, at this moment, their cultivations were completely useless. They were able to freely land on the ground. Ha, indeed, just 2 idiots. Good fall. Sure enough, it was a big show. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.